Hey, this is Chase Sexton. You're listening to the MotoXpod show.
What's up, you guys? Jeremy McGrath here. You are listening to MotoXpod show.
Welcome back to another episode of the Vital MX MotoXpod show, presented as always by Racetech and Yamaha Motor USA. The first round of Super Motocross Series Year 2 is behind us. Charlotte has come and gone. Fort Worth coming up. There's a number of things we're going to talk to you guys about, or with you guys about tonight. To cover that, we'll talk about what we expect to see at round 2. I think it feels pretty freaking obvious, unfortunately, what we might see. But we're going to have our segments coming up, and then we have, of course, our guest from Firepower Honda, Dean Wilson, and from Red Bull KTM, Julien Beaumer. Juju going to jump on, and also Mike Bonacci from Club MX is going to call in, or we'll call him, in the first 30 minutes or so to talk about RaiseItForUSA.com and all that's going on, what's expected out of the teams, what the riders are responsible for, all that good stuff. Before we get into that, I want to introduce you to my co-hosts in studio, as always, Scotty Thompson.
Yeah, what's going on?
How are the cameras? How are the
looking good? Yeah, man, glad to be here. Got some playoff racing. It didn't quite go as we thought, so I'm excited to talk about it.
I don't care about that. I care about Monday Night Football. Niners Nation, baby.
Hey, Cowboys had a good one too.
Yeah, they played nobody. They played the Browns.
Yeah, I was about to say,
y'all played the Jets.
Played Aaron Rodgers.
Oh, okay. Yeah, off a torn Achilles, and he's like 75 years old.
Torn Achilles mean, man? Look at Eli Tomac.
Yeah, that's a very...
Exactly. Niners Nation, baby. Super Bowl bound. The same team as last year. We're going.
They might get there again, but what happens when they get there?
Thank you, Chase. I appreciate that.
We'll be good. Hey, at least we get there.
Yeah, it's a good point.
3 NFC championship games in 4 years.
At least y'all don't pay y'all's quarterback $60 million.
Jerry Jones will never learn. All right, enough football talk. Maybe till the end of the show. Also in studio from 710 Designs, once again, filling the very small shoes of TJ Smith. Chase Moore, what's up, man?
Baby Gap shoes over here.
Well, yeah, he doesn't have big shoes to fill is the point. He has little teeny shoes because he's never here.
Well, and he doesn't really, what is it?
And then they're going to be cheap shoes. They're going to be like Goodwill shoes. But thanks for being back 3 weeks in a row.
For sure. I don't have anything else going on.
TJ will be back in town Wednesday or Thursday of this week, just in time for there not to be a show next week.
Perfect timing.
Way to go, TJ. You hate this show. He plans it that way. He's like, he calls or texts. He's like, hey, when are we not doing a show? And I tell him, he's like, okay, that's the week I'm in town.
He called his boss at the end of last week and said, can you please just make me work overtime.
Yeah.
Like, make me have to work this week.
One more week.
Yeah.
I hate motocross. I hate riding with my friends, and I hate this show. I hate the listeners.
He loves eating cheeseburger. It's the only reason he comes. Cheeseburger, tortilla, and mayo and mustard mixed together, I guess.
Such a loser. But yeah, good to have you back.
Yeah, anytime, man.
Plenty to talk about. We're going to start with the Racetech Open discussion. As you guys know, Racetech is the world's largest aftermarket motorcycle suspension modification company. They have over 35 years of experience providing factory-level suspension to the everyday rider. But they don't only provide suspension modification parts and services. They also are developing the best world-class engines in the world with a combination of porting, cam timing, mapping, and related components to world-class engines, which is a painstaking process. Racetech has spent an impressive number of hours doing R&D on the flow bench, dyno, CNC, and at the track to create Racetech Power Plan. If you follow the RT Power Plan and assemble the engine correctly, you can build an engine capable of competing with anything in the world. So visit racetech.com for any of the suspension or engine services. Find your local service center. You know the drill. Go use those guys, support them, let them know you're listening so they can support the show. As I said, Scotty, Chase, Super Motocross Round 1, 2024 has come and gone. Our questions were answered. Jet is back. I'm just over it. I'm like done. Whatever. Jet's, dude, he's the best rider in America. I'd
say in the world, but yeah.
Yeah, it bummed me out how freaking good he was. I'm not saying there's no chance that Chase can come back or another rider can come and maybe win this championship, but I feel like the chances are very, very slim, Scotty. Just Jet was, when he was ready to go, he went and he took off and he was doing things nobody else was doing, just like before he was injured. And this short amount of time of rehab and already looking that good is scary.
Yeah, I mean, it seemed like he was kind of taking it easy, figuring out where he fit in. And he was like, it was almost like, he's like, you guys are just going to kind of let me have this? Like, oh, okay, like I'll take it. But to be honest with you, like, yeah, it was impressive. The story to me, the bigger shock was the speed Tomac had. I mean, Tomac and speed is not a shock, but I mean, he was close to going 1-1, and we wouldn't even be talking about this from Jet. I mean, it wasn't crazy for him to go 1-1. It was really close. So I think that him doing that was more of a statement than I think Jet coming back from the injury.
It seemed like Jet was just kind of easing into it at first, and he was like, I got more than I thought I did, and then he just
I saw that too.
It was back to normal.
Yeah, I mean, Eli was very impressive, but I don't think Jet was showing us everything he had in the first moto. Like you said, I think he was easing back into it, and then at that 6-minute mark or whatever it was at the end of Moto 2, he's like, yeah, I'm going. And
I rewatched it today, and he just...
Yeah, it was easy.
When he was ready, it seemed
easy.
Tom.
He went around Eli with 0 issues on the outside.
But that's late.
Jumping into the sand.
Late in second moto, Tomac hasn't had the time to be completely conditioned.
Neither is Jet necessarily.
I know, but Jet's at the beginning of his career. He's in his barely in his peak, and Tomac's,
The point is, Jet. I don't think Jet's going to be any worse than he is right now.
No, right. I'm not arguing
about to get
that.
Better.
I don't think Jet lost that much. I heard that he was going crazy on cardio, like as soon as that happened, as much as he could.
Yeah, makes sense.
It's just so. All right, let's go to Chase Sexton, and I like Chase Sexton. I'm a fan of Chase Sexton, but obviously there's a lot of talk about how would this mentally affect him. All I can do is put myself. If I was in those shoes and the same thing happened to me, I know me. I'd be like, fuck. Like, I don't know what I'm supposed to do.
Yeah, I'd feel the same way, but I also, like when I was playing baseball as a kid, my dad would, like, purposely piss me off because I played better like that. Yeah. So it might end up helping him in the long run. I mean, he obviously wants it, so we'll see.
Hasn't really helped so
hasn't.
Far.
You're right, it hasn't, but maybe he'll figure out how to kind of channel that.
You have to think that he came into this going, man, I just won the outdoor title. I got better and better. I'm the man right now. And then all of a sudden, you're not the man. Now he's talking about the bike issues he's having, and I believe him. He's
everybody
struggling.
had bike issues there because it's such a weird fast track with supercross jumps. You can't set up a bike to do both and be good everywhere.
Well, it seems like you can if you're Jet Lawrence.
He's just different.
But I think if I'm Chase Sexton or I'm Jamie Guida and I just got worked in that exact same situation, I'm kind of like,
I'd be in a deep, dark place.
I just don't know what to do, man. Like, I think I'd get to a point where I guess I'm racing for second place.
Yeah, I'd be in a deep, dark place.
Now, that champion can't do that, so clearly I won't be a champion. But it has to be scary to those guys. And even Eli just looks so much better. Like, Eli made a statement. I'm back.
Flashes of old Eli, for sure.
I kept thinking Chase was going to make a run and it just every time he would, the bike would slip out or something. He kind of
did, and then he just made a mistake.
There's definitely some moments where I was, because I seem to find myself really, I think Chase is kind of a little bit of the underdog role, even though he's one of the fastest guys. I think it's like he's the kind of guy to dethrone. He was kind of the guy to dethrone Tomac. He's kind of been the guy to dethrone Jet. So I always kind of pull for him. And there was definitely some times watching it, I was like, come on, Chase, like, go. Like, yeah. But I know he's trying his hardest. It's not that he wasn't. And it's just the way it went. He's got to get starts.
What about mentally and physically, just how much of a factor, Chase, you think the motocross exhaustion would play into it?
I did think of that.
He only did a few more rounds, but then the title was on his shoulders, and then you win the title, and there's probably a whole lot of like adrenaline dump. Like,
yeah.
Maybe that was a factor too.
You get it happens every year with like championship hangover. It's like everybody will switch to kind of test him for the other, like for moto or whatever, and they kind of fall behind when it stops because the dude's running for the championship is still on Supercross, doesn't touch moto. I'm sure there's some of that, and then like you said, it's just an adrenaline dump.
Yeah. Oh, I think Chase kind of got caught off guard, maybe a little bit.
I think we all did.
Yeah, I meant in the way of I think he, after his motocross success and the fact that those two guys were coming off of injury, I felt like he probably thought in the laters in his motors that he was going to get him, and it just didn't go that way. So I think that maybe he was not coming in with that mindset of I've got to go give it. I got to be like the best version of this, because I think maybe he thought it was going to be like more of a walk in the park, like he had it because of the momentum and stuff.
I don't agree with that, but go ahead, continue.
Like I just think that they caught him off guard. Is kind of what I'm getting at.
I think he was just caught off guard at how good those guys were.
Yeah.
That quick. Thankfully, it is just the first round, single points, so you can make up for that.
The whole point scale, like,
But
there's not a big. It's not panic button time. But
no, but if
Dallas,
Jet does that again, then it's time like, okay,
yeah,
well,
like
I guess,
Lewis said, Dallas is big.
yeah, it's real big. So what are your expectations? I want to talk about the track. We'll get to Hayden, and of course we got Mike Bonacci coming up in a few minutes. But do you expect more of the same at Fort Worth? Or like, what do you think, Chase? Do we see? Look, Chase wasn't that far off until the last few minutes when Jet decided to go.
Yeah,
because he was pretty close, and he was making a few mistakes, and Eli made a couple mistakes, and Jet just didn't. So it wasn't like Chase was awful, but we're going into Fort Worth. Is he better?
I mean, I think he'll be able to build off the settings he had that he did not like. Obviously, I think he didn't want to do interviews or anything after because he was so upset with it. But I mean, going forward, like Jet was perfect last year. He won SMX last year. He probably would have won outdoors if he was around. Like, I mean, how much more of a sample size do we need to see to? Like, you just kind of got to expect it at this point and see what happens.
What was the original question?
Just what do you expect? Do you think Chase will be better? Is he going to be closer at Fort Worth?
Again, I would say I would want to see was the Charlotte a one-off thing for Tomac? Did he just fit that track? Or I kind of want to see, can he bring it like that again?
I feel like he can. They kept saying how like,
I want to see that
SMX style track kind of suits him, and he is a aggressive outdoorsy guy. So I do think he'll be equally as good, maybe better.
Yeah. I think Chase probably realized that Jet was going to have something.
Yeah.
I think Tomac being in there too, that was not a part of the plan. Like he may have thought that like, hey, if I go 2-2 behind Jet, it's not the end of the world. Like, battle with him, then see where we're at. But to go 4-3 and be behind Hunter in the first moto and be behind Tomac in the second one, was definitely.
He wasn't behind Hunter for very long.
We finished fourth in the first moto.
Chase?
Yeah.
Oh, that's right. He did get passed back. Yep. Yeah, okay. I was going to say that the biggest issue I see with it that kind of worries me is same thing we talk about outdoors is Chase looks like he's putting so much effort in to go that fast. And I feel like Jet's just like cruising around a leisurely ride. Oh, yeah, man, I'll just jump the sand double in the corner. Yep, I'll go around you. I'll whip by you. No problem. See you later.
It's funny because before this.
It just seems so effortless.
Yeah, before this, we were saying that's how Chase rode.
Yeah.
And he can't ride like that and be out front anymore. He has to push it like that. It all kind of boils down to he's got to get better starts.
Yeah, that's a huge part of it.
He can't
for sure.
But Jet doesn't seem to need him,
right? But he can't run him down. But he can get out front, pull a little gap, and maintain.
I don't like it. I think it worries me. Like we heard Mathis say, "I'm going to retire." Like this, that's kind of how I feel. It's like, all right, well,
it's starting to feel.
There's going to be good racing behind him, but it's starting to feel like okay, these first place guys are just Jet and Hayden are just better than everybody.
It's starting
else.
to feel like McGrath, Bricky years.
Yeah.
I don't like it either.
I think the scariest part of it was that Jet, probably the first time Jet's gone into a race where he's like, yeah, I don't expect to win. And then he still won. Yeah. Like, that's kind of terrifying. Yeah.
About a minute or so before I got to get Mike on the phone, but did you like the track layout? Because watching it, there's some things I didn't like. I didn't like that double that just coming out of what I'll call the motocross section where it just fell to almost nothing and everybody was like hitting the bars almost because the bike was stalled. I didn't. And looking at it, I was like, okay, it doesn't. Well, I was unfortunately while I was live, I was watching on my phone because I was at a wedding.
Yeah.
And I was like, this doesn't look very motocrossy. It
Does
looks
anybody
mostly
object?
Supercross.
Oh, crap.
Yeah, it mostly looks like Supercross. And I started going, I wonder how Davey Coombs and MX Sports feel because it's supposed to be a mix. And it doesn't feel very mixture. But then I watched it back today on the big TV. So, okay, it was getting rough.
Yeah.
But do you guys like this format? Because I can't decide if I like it or not.
It breaks it up, something different. I like that. I mean, 17 Supercrosses, it gets pretty boring about halfway through, and you're looking for moto. And
do you feel it's different enough?
Yeah.
Yeah. There's
I'll-
enough like different variables that it makes it a little more entertaining.
Okay.
I don't feel like it means as much. I mean, I guess it does because of the money, but I don't feel like nobody's going out and like they want to win Supercross. They want to win moto. SMX isn't the top goal, I don't think, for most people other than the money. So I don't know.
That actually topic, we may talk about that towards the end of the show because that topic came up about with the riders about how long the season is, and most of them just focused on the money. And we may get to that, but we got our first guest of the night on, so we're going to get to him first, and we may wrap some of this stuff up towards the end of the show. Our first guest is going to be brought to you tonight by ProX, which is rooted in racing from motocross to off-road and supporting teams such as Ampro Yamaha, Pro Circuit Kawasaki, and SLR Honda. They have been supplying quality components for almost 50 years, from complex jobs like an engine rebuild to simple maintenance, including filters, chains, and sprockets. ProX aims to bridge the gap between OE quality and affordability. You can find ProX at your local dealership or visit prox-usa.com and search for your parts for your bikes. I just got sprockets and chains last week for my bike and a bunch of filters. Awesome quality stuff from ProX. Tonight, ProX brings us from the Muck-Off FXR Club MX Yamaha team, Mike Bonacci. What's up, Mike?
Jamie, how are you?
I'm good. Sitting here with my boys, Scotty and Chase, just talking a little bit about SMX. And yeah, before we get into what you're calling in for, let me ask you the same question I just asked them. I asked them if they like this format, if they like these tracks, because I'm sort of undecided. I can't decide if I like this more, less, equal to motocross, supercross. Is it different enough? How do you feel about it? Just as a fan, not as a team manager, not as somebody in the industry, just as a fan watching it.
Yeah, I liked it. It's exciting. I think even when they add the all-star race to it with the 65s last weekend, 85s next weekend, it adds another element to it. I think the tracks are cool. I think the fan base is cool where you can get all the fans in to see the race at one time, sort of like supercross, but still have the atmosphere of outdoors like motocross. I really like it. And obviously I like it because it came to Charlotte.
That's true, yeah. I think what I am struggling with is when I look at it from a distance, I go, well, it doesn't look like a motocross track. Like I almost feel like because it's in a race arena or a drag strip, like it doesn't feel like a motocross track out in the world. So maybe that's just a visual thing that's kind of bugging me. And as a fan, if you go to the event, it's not super easy to see the whole thing, which I've only been to a couple. But yeah, I do like that the riders, this is part you probably don't like, that the riders struggle to figure out a setup that will work because they don't really know what the hell to do.
No, I don't believe that. Like,
okay,
we've got a lot of experience. Everybody's got their own track of how to figure it out. It's just an excuse because you sucked that day that your suspension was bad or whatever. Everybody's got that stuff figured out. It's not really that difficult.
Okay.
And if you're a purist, I could see where maybe you would have some difficulty with it. But, you know, there's a fair amount of people that would watch lawnmowers race if they had the chance. So
I guess it's true. It's racing.
Yeah,
Right? Yeah.
I'm all for it. I like that they're trying new things as a sport. And I like our guys have an opportunity to make more money. So I'm
there
good
you
with
go.
it.
Yeah. All right, Mike. Well, I want to ask you, I got a couple of Club MX questions for you too, but the main reason you want to be on tonight is raiseitforusa.com, the fundraiser to help out Team USA going to Matterley Basin for MXDN. Obviously, it's a very, very expensive trip. Unfortunately, a lot of these expenses fall on the riders and the teams. So yeah, kind of give us your spiel. Tell us about Raise It for USA, what you guys got going on this year.
Yeah, it's actually very interesting. And first off, thanks for having me on. But I thought one day, what if someone asked one of my guys to go to Motocross the Nations? And I thought, how the hell am I going to pay for it? So I couldn't just complain about it. So I put together an idea of just collecting things. And currently the raffle site has over 73 cool items on it. And I came up with the idea, presented it to the AMA, and they said, hey, if you can pull it off and figure it out, then let's do it. And I worked with Christina Denny on on some ideas that she had, and she put me together with Paul from Renthal, who had a site that he had built for the golf tournament a couple years back, and we repurposed it for this raffle. And then I linked it to the AMA bank account exclusively so that it can audit it, and that makes sure that the money goes directly to the teams. So everything fell into place. I went door to door to each truck, whether it was a factory truck, privateer, independent, support team, whatever. And pretty much everybody gave me something.
Yeah.
And it's all loaded on the site now. So people can go in and buy a raffle ticket for only $5 on an item that they like, or they could put $100, however much they want to put into it. But some of the pieces in there are really freaking cool. And I have a Ricky Carmichael signed card when he was 12 on there. So somebody had the foresight of knowing Ricky was going to be a legend.
Yeah.
And I got an autograph on a baseball card and then donated it to me to put into this raffle, which I thought was super cool. I got a signed autograph poster from James Stewart. That thing's worth about $500. Some guys donated for me for that.
Nice.
Lots of plastics, lots of jerseys, lots of autographs, lots of everything in there. And with the team being selected now, I thought I would at least, make one last push to try to make people aware of it. There's stuff from Chase Sexton, Aaron Plessinger, Chance Hymas, and Hayden Deegan went out of his way the other day and gave me a jersey to put up on this. So that was pretty cool. And then some past Motocross the Nations participants have a Tim Ferry autographed 2008 jersey when they won.
Okay.
Which I think is really cool. And then Feld kicked in a VIP Supercross program, which is pretty cool. I mean, these things are worth some serious money. So
Sure.
I think if people are always asking for jerseys and plastics and all this stuff, it's right there in front of you that you can go online and buy it for $5.
Yeah, and then support.
But that's not all, Jamie. There's more.
There's more
Wait,
behind. Look what's
there's
behind
more.
door number 2.
Christina had a whole bunch of stuff made with hats and shirts and socks. And we just yesterday, I got the text, had reached our 500th order.
Oh, nice.
So people are ordering a lot of that stuff in support. And then we just added these Zool's USA bags. So there's a luggage bag and a backpack that people can go on there and buy at very affordable prices. So all in all, it's a pretty cool program. I thank Paul, his wife Erica helped with the website tremendously.
Yep.
They ask nothing in return, which I think is great. The money gets raised. It's on the cusp of $20,000, which I thought was unattainable when I first started. But now I feel like maybe we should shoot for 30. So that's why I'm on with you tonight.
Yeah, we need to get our listeners, and I know you were on Pulp last night, and his listeners, and a lot of our listeners are the same, but we do have a few that don't cross over. And go to raiseitforusa.com. Support the team. These guys, I mean, Mike, yeah, like a writer like Chance Hymas, not getting the biggest paycheck in the world, right? He's still a young kid.
Right.
But what are some of the financial responsibilities that he's going to be responsible for to get him to the UK?
Yeah, it's interesting. I'm not totally clear on it, but
Okay.
there is a pool of money. So
Sure.
I don't want people to think that there's no money. Actually, Feld kicks in some money. MX Sports kicks in money. The AMA raises money. They do a whole bunch of things through other circuits that have there is a pool of money. It's not like teams have to fund it themselves. But if just hypothetically Chance wants his parents to go, then there's going to be some added expense for him to get them there. So my hope was that this pool of money that we raised through this fundraiser can help them with whatever they need to do it. How they spend the money, I don't really care in terms of getting there, who goes there, mechanics, whatever. I just know that I didn't want them to have any out-of-pocket expense. That was my goal.
Absolutely.
If I could get it done this year, even though it's in the U.S. next year, there's still expenses involved with that. So I thought, it could really perfect this model and make it work for future years as well. And just so you know, and just to be very upfront with everybody, I made my demands well known with the AMA the other day in Charlotte of that I want a shirt out of this. So.
Fair. I'm wondering, email's usually pretty reliable, but I didn't get my email asking for a signed Dark Side jersey. Do you not need one?
No, there's still time. There's still time. In fact,
Nobody wants that.
Your competitor Steve donated a helmet, which I thought was very nice.
Yeah.
And Michael Antonovich donated the Julien Beaumer complete signed kit, which I thought was super cool.
Nice.
So yeah, a couple of the guys in the media really went out of their way to help me with this. So yeah, I would like to have a Dark Side jersey.
I just thought of something. I bet I can get something that could be the ultimate piece of memorabilia. You're gonna have to wait till next Monday after I'm in Pulp Studio.
Okay,
I know.
But there is a James Stewart helmet sitting on his desk.
I knew exactly.
I could probably. I might be able to sneak out of there.
Yeah. Good luck.
Yeah.
So you're going to Dallas?
Yes, I will. I will be in Dallas, and then I fly Monday morning to Vegas to do Pulp with Steve. So, and then back home.
All right.
Yep.
Swing by the truck and get an autographed Dark Side jersey. I think would be appropriate for this project.
I don't think anybody.
Do.
I promise.
I don't think anybody wants that.
Somebody wants it.
Can you start the bidding at a penny?
Well, it's raffle, so $5.
Oh, okay.
What did you say, Scott?
So you start the bidding at a penny?
Oh, yeah. And he might get two.
Yeah.
All right, Scott, you got a question?
Yeah.
At least you're represented at least you tried. So I say just drop that off with our truck driver if I'm not around.
Okay.
Let's get it loaded. And I'll tell you what, if it raises more money than the helmet that Steve donated,
God.
I'll match it.
Yeah, I'll say there's zero chance, but that's pretty funny. Well, I might have some stuff in here that I could donate. I've got like Jeremy McGrath's book that's signed by Jeremy, stuff like that.
Some cool stuff in here.
You could
I don't have anything as cool as Steve, but I have a few things.
Is that the Jeremy's autobiography?
Yeah, he signed it for me last year. So I'll bring you that. I'll bring you that.
That is a good book.
Okay, I'll bring that.
I thought you were going to do signed socks.
That's an inside joke.
So
we don't even have time for that.
Well, that was one of the listeners had a question, is that they were kind of wondering how the shipping worked. Our fans are a little shy when it comes to shipping stuff because of past contests on the MotoXpod show. So we had some shipping questions there.
These are guys that are out of the country. So that's yeah.
All good questions. So basically, I'm doing the shipping for all the stuff that I have. Christina and Moto Tees is handling the shipping for all the new materials, and then Christina's handling the shipping for the Zool's bags. So, yeah, we're handling the shipping. The AMA will pay for the shipping of all these items.
So no issues there.
Yeah,
no issues.
All right. So
our chat can breathe easy.
Yeah. Anything else with Raise It for USA?
I just think that whoever you're pulling for and whoever you thought the team was going to be, this is one chance for us to kind of have some unity and cheer these guys on. And that's kind of what I'm all about too. You know,
I agree.
I'm not going to England to watch the race, but I certainly want these guys to go there as a team and feel like we supported them.
Yeah. At this point, the team is picked. It's our team. Let's support our boys, and we're thankful they're going, and we're excited. And so I 100% agree. Before we let you go, let's talk a little bit about club. Round one, you had Phil Nicoletti, Cody Schock, Jet Reynolds, all at SMX. Jet, unfortunately, didn't make it into the motos, but he's healthy.
No. Jet made it, did okay.
Oh,
Mark
yeah, he got 18th. I'm sorry, he got 18th.
Yeah.
Yep, I am sorry.
So I think if I took it from the bottom up, Mark had his struggles, unfortunately. He didn't make it into the main.
Yeah, Mark didn't make it. I'm sorry.
Jet finished fourth in the LCQ and did okay. I mean, finished 18th overall, which is okay. But you got to remember, just finishing all the laps was the first thing to check off.
Yeah.
You know, it's been a while since he's done any kind of Supercross looking thing, and he did really well. I'm not pumped with 18th. He's not pumped with 18th, but we're pumped with mission accomplished. So I expect him to move up 4 to 5 spots in Dallas.
Good. Yeah, really. Yeah, you're right. All we need out of Jet is healthy. Let's get through another season in 25. Let's build. Let's get back to the talent you showed in amateurs, but let's stay healthy. So it's got to be a mental progression too, because I'm sure we know we've talked to him a number of times. Like that's a struggle, right? And he had some moments where he thought about quitting. Let's build that confidence back up.
Cody just couldn't get the qualifying session that he wanted, so he didn't get the gate pick that he wanted. But I think now that he knows the system, he'll get a better qualifying time and a better gate pick for Dallas. So I expect him to move up, 3 to 4 spots. So I think he'll be bumping up against the top 10. And then Phil crushed it in the first one. Crushed it. And very proud of him. But in the second one, I think he cracked the shock, and that unfortunately ended his night.
Yeah, it was interesting last night. Listen to Pulp. They were talking about it. He was on, like, only Phil would do this. We're like, no, it happened to Kenny this year in Supercross. I think
Steve said he was like 40 feet from the bike. So like,
dude, I saw the video today.
Is there video?
It's I can't remember on whose Instagram I saw it, but somebody posted it.
You can't leave us hanging like that.
Yeah,
you gotta figure out who
I
it
don't know,
was.
man, but it was from a distance, but it definitely catapulted him like 20 feet in the air.
I'm going to write that down so I can find it later.
Yeah.
Didn't want to send it to nobody.
Yeah, sorry.
He was a hurting buck after that one.
Oh, I bet. He's getting old, Mike. He's getting old, man.
I don't care what age you are. That one was going to hurt.
Yeah. Well, we love Phil. So actually, I never have Phil on the show anymore because he's on Steve's show every single Monday night. But next weekend, I will be in Pulp, so I will get to talk to him and hopefully make some fun of him and have some good times because, Phil's one of those characters we just don't want to see go away.
Characters are right.
You know what most, I don't think that people miss it, but Phil is probably the best student of the sport from top to bottom.
True.
And so you could ask him a question about anything in the sport, anything at all, from track prep to anybody that even rides. He'll know who they are and what the program is. It's really pretty incredible the amount of knowledge that man has. So, you should come up with some good questions for him.
Yeah, I'll come by and see that you guys. You won't be there, you said, right?
No, I won't be there this weekend, but I'm saving my energy for Las Vegas because we got a lot of moving parts for that one.
Yeah, we'll have fun with that. Unfortunately, we'll all be in Texas. We're not making the trip, but I'll go by the rig. I'll say hi to the boys, and we appreciate you coming on. We got to get Dean Wilson on here in a second, but thank you for coming on and letting everybody know about Raise It 4 USA. That's the number 4. Go support, and I'll bring some stuff this weekend and drop off your truck driver.
I appreciate it. All right. Thank you, guys.
All right, Mike. Have a good night.
Yep.
All right, bye. That's Mike Bonacci from Muck-Off FXR Club MX. Definitely go support. No matter how you feel about the riders that didn't make it or decided not to go or whatever you feel, our team is set. We need to try to support the guys. Raise It 4, the number 4, USA.com is the way to do that. MXDN is very important. To me, it's important. I think it's important to the history of the sport. But our next guest is on the line. We're getting him on. He's going to be brought to you tonight by Guts Racing. Andy Gregg and the Guts Racing crew continue to provide the best seats and foam available. If you want the same seats used by Rockstar, Husqvarna, Hep Suzuki, and many more, then you need Guts Racing. They have numerous color possibilities, staple or Velcro installation options, wing seats, and the best foam in the business with the Phantom Ultralight Seat Foam. Don't forget they have complete seats for the Talari and the Super 73 and covers for the Suron and Segway. They strive to ship orders within 36 business hours, so visit gutsracing.com and let them know the MotoXpod show sent you. Tonight, Guts Racing brings us from Firepower Honda our buddy Dean Wilson. What's up, Dino?
What's up, guys? How we doing?
Doing good. I'm going to start this thing off just like every time I talk to you. Our buddy Hal called me today. He said I had to tell you. He says hi. He'll be there this weekend.
Hal's the man. He is the man. It'll be good to see him.
Yeah, he's the best, man. He is one of the honestly, one of the best human beings I've ever met. So we say that every time we talk about him.
He is. He's the man. No, you couldn't say anything bad about him.
No, definitely not. All right, Dino. So we were just talking to Mike Bonacci from Club MX, who's running the Raise It for USA fundraiser for Team USA. I want to know what you would pay for a Dark Side jersey.
Well, I would pay for a
50 cents?
Dark Side jersey.
Yeah, 50 cents.
Signed. Dino.
I don't know if I could afford it, dude.
Man, that's what I don't know. I don't think anybody wants that.
I don't know, mate. Don't rate yourself like that. I think you got some speed, and I've seen you on the bike before, and don't listen to what everyone else says about you. You know what I mean?
What are you saying? People say bad stuff about me?
No, they might pick on your writing a little bit, So, I think you're the GOAT. So I don't know if I can afford it.
Thanks. I worked Steve at Lakewood a couple weeks ago. That's all that matters to me.
It's mostly us talking crap.
Yeah.
There you go. Top podcaster.
There you go.
We need to get Dino to ask Grandpa Earl if his grandson wants a Dark Side signed jersey.
Yeah, he might. He might won it for sure.
All right, Dino, how we feeling, man? 19 for 19th. Look, SMX looks hard, bro. And, you're I don't know. I felt like you looked pretty good. You had a big fight through the LCQ. That was not easy. But how do you feel about your weekend overall?
I mean, it kind of sucked. I just never rode good at all. And, I had to go through the LCQ every weekend, which sucked. But we got through that. And then, honestly, I just didn't feel comfortable. And, this SMX, for me, it's just a good way to make some extra money. It's not even really on my contract to race these. My main focus is the Australia Supercross Championship. That's kind of that's what's important for me. So these are just, get me in shape, do some racing, make some money. But, I didn't feel good at all. And then I had a couple close calls, some sketchy moments. And, dude, I'm just I don't know. I'm at that age. I was just all right, let's run it home and, let's just be safe today. So
I totally understand that. Absolutely.
It's gnarly, dude. This level is just so fast. All those top boys are going real good, but I definitely can be in that top 12 range for sure. I just need to get a star and be up there. But I was trying to work my way through the pack, then I'd make a massive mistake. And then when you make a mistake on this track, you'd lose 2 seconds, right off the bat, because they were just on a drag strip in front of you,
Sure.
So, I was pretty sloppy on the weekend, not my best riding, but, hey, it's just, single points. We need to do it when it counts. These double and triple points is where, you can really make some things happen,
100%. I want to ask you, you said a couple things just a minute ago that I really want to touch on, but the first one, when you say you're uncomfortable, is that because the track conditions were so different than what you're used to? Was that set up, a little bit of both? What was it that made you uncomfortable?
I think it was a little bit of setup and track, definitely both. Just the high speed stuff, man. It's pretty gnarly. And honestly, if you're willing to send it, I think you'd be pretty fast. But it's not really willing to send it like that anymore.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I'm coming towards the end, and it's just dude, it's just so fast, and you're flat landing jumps, and it's just wide open, and I just never felt comfortable, and so I kind of just know my limits, and we just took it easy.
Okay.
Yeah, Dino. I was on pins and needles watching you and Colton at LCQ, man. That was probably one of the more entertaining parts of the race day.
That and the 65s.
Yeah. Well, we can get into that later.
Yeah.
But
the LCQ was definitely it sucks being in those things. Because all the guys are pretty damn good riders. You got myself, Colt Nichols, Colin Parr, Derek Kelly, Pappy or Pate. I don't know how you say his name. Jerry Robin. Jeremy Hand, they're all pretty fast. And, I actually, thought I had the start, and then I got hit off the start, and then I was, last on my side. I'm oh, no. And, dude, I was actually pretty happy with how I rode in that one. That was probably my best riding, because I just came through the pack real good. I got around Colt, got around Kelly, got around Jeremy Hand, got around Pate. I don't know if I'm saying that right. And then, got in the third. But I'm dude, if Barsha and Anderson didn't get hurt, me and Colt wouldn't even made it. It's gnarly. So
yeah, it's true. Yeah, that's
but yeah, it's definitely. I wish they just do it on Friday so we could get it over with.
Oh, okay, yeah, but then they want that televised. But yeah, I get it from your standpoint.
Yeah, exactly. Let's get it done, and then I can sleep and go to the race. Worrying about it,
right.
That was when I finished that, I was oh, that was the hardest part of the day,
Okay.
So coming into SMX, I guess you didn't do as many nationals and stuff to get up to points. Do you regret going down to Brazil and doing all that, or was it worth it?
Oh no, it was worth it for sure. Brazil was super fun. The people were awesome. Had a lot of fun, and they treated me well over there. So it was worth it, and I would have made it in if that guy didn't clean out all my spokes at Bud's Creek. I was only 5 points back, and I went DNF, and then I went 21 that day. So I got 1 point that day. So
right.
It's pretty frustrating because it's an effort to get there, and then to DNF the first moto just really pissed me off. So I mean, I feel like I would have made it in, but oh well.
You talked a minute ago also about the level of that those guys are at, and then you mentioned your age and not wanting to send it. I want to know if you feel like the level at the top level, the Eli's, the Jets, the Chases, has honestly elevated in the span of your career, or do you feel it's really not that much different? Maybe you've backed it down. Where do you feel that top level is compared to, say, 10 years ago?
I gotta say it's faster.
Okay.
I have to. Those guys, because it's just not only speed; they're doing it the whole race. You know, I mean, you look at Carmichael Stewart; they were doing it the whole race too. But like, I just feel like the speed, like with Eli, Jet, Chase, even like Justin Cooper. Like dude, Hunter. The level's so high. These guys are so fast. Like it's pretty gnarly. It's just such a high, intense level, and it's like they're doing it all the way to the checkered. It's pretty impressive. So, I'd say I gotta say it's faster than it's ever been for sure. Because you know what, I watched the race back, and I watched the second moto, and I said like I really do not think that those two up front. I mean, Chase was right there too, but those two up front, you could have went any faster. On the bike. I really don't think
it's so hard to say because I think Steve asked Chase a few weeks ago when he was on about like in 22 when him and Eli were going at it. Was it faster? Yeah. And I feel like Chase said, didn't Chase? You listen? Didn't he say he felt they were as fast or faster in 22?
I think he said that they were faster now.
Okay, yeah. Maybe I'm misthinking then. But they were. I mean, they were hauling. Well, all you guys haul ass, but that battle between Eli and Chase that year was unreal. So it's just hard to believe.
No,
that
it was.
Yeah.
It was. Because I watched Ironman 22, and I said the same thing. Actually, I said it to Chase. I was like, dude, I watched that race back, and I was like, you guys couldn't have went any faster. Like, if you watched that Ironman race 22, like, it was, I think Eli did his fastest lap, second last lap or something. Like, it was crazy. So, I don't know. I personally don't think so, but who knows?
I was shooting photos at Millville 2022, and I didn't think anybody could ride a dirt bike faster than that. Like it was insane.
Yeah, no, it's pretty gnarly. So it's fun to watch. Those guys are really good.
Yeah, with guys that have been around as long as you, I love asking those. We love asking those kind of questions where how you've seen it kind of change, not only from the rider's pace but from the tracks too. Like when I go back and watch a early 2010s national or even supercross, it seems like it's a way different style. A lot of the national tracks were flat and didn't have it, not quite as deep with all the different ruts and lines. How has that transitioned throughout the years of what we see in front of us now?
Yeah, I've definitely noticed that when I go back watch the early 2010, like my rookie year and stuff like that. Tracks are just definitely not near as deep back then. And I feel like this year, because a lot of people were like, oh, you guys are wrecking them too deep, and it's just kind of, everyone's stuck in a rut and you can't move around. So I feel like this year they actually backed that down a little bit, try to get us to move around. I mean, I only did a couple of nationals, but, they wanted to move, the riders wanted to move around more on the track, so I don't think they went as crazy on the preps. But, as of late, the last few years, they've been disking them deep. Like, when you go out for qualifying, it's muddy. It's deep, it's muddy, and then sometimes by Moto2 the track's like dried out a little bit, So, but then I watched. They had weather, but Unadilla, and it's just like, oh man, those ruts were gnarly, and I was like, whew. But it was like that, a few years I raced it as well. So
sure,
yeah, outdoors is just gnarly, man. It's a different beast.
I remember you back at Swan, I believe. I can't remember what year it was.
Are you? Okay.
Yeah, I asked him about this.
Oh, yeah, you said
before.
you already asked that.
I don't remember coming to Swan.
You got protested and your mom freaked out on everybody. It was awesome.
Oh, yep.
Yeah.
I got protested for racing my 250 in the 450 class.
Yeah.
And his dad, his dad was super triggered about it. And I was like, only like 15. And like, I don't know, he was not happy. And like, he's going at me. And like, good thing my dad wasn't there. I'll tell you that. It was just me and my mom. And then he like wrote in a protest and everything. And I don't even remember what exactly happened, but yeah, I was not happy.
It's crazy.
Well, yeah, being in the pretty much about in the boonies of East Texas and hearing your mom yell at everybody in a Scottish accent was awesome. Yeah.
I don't really remember too much. I just do remember this dad was so mad I was on my 250 and the 450 class. I'm like, dude, I'm underpowered. Like, what are you crying about?
Just anything to complain about. Anything to complain about.
Yeah.
Dean Wilson tonight, brought to you by Guts Racing. Let me ask you the general question of setup and stuff for these SMX races. We all know it's got to be a little bit difficult to find a good setup. This track this weekend was very fast. It got ruddy and hammered in the motocross section, but then you had the real tight rhythm section. How many options do you have with firepower? Like, how many sets of suspension can you go through and change things? I mean, it's not like a factory level team, so I'm sure you're a little bit limited. How do you find a good setup for something like that?
For SMX you're talking about?
Yeah. Just there being such a...
Oh, dude, it's so tough. It's so tough, honestly. Like, cause, we rode today. I rode at the, at Colleen's,
MTF.
SMX, all the Star Boys and stuff. And like, it's just, I got Supercross suspension on, and like when you hit the bump, it's so rigid, and so we got to soften that up. But then for the Supercross rhythms, you don't want the forks going too deep. So it's very tough. I'm sure a lot of guys were doing a lot of adjustments throughout the day, just trying to get comfortable because, it was so fast on the weekend. It was pretty crazy. So I think all day you're just kind of adjusting on the fly and trying to just get comfy. And you saw up. I'm sure more guys softened up their Sippy suspension and kind of dealt with it through the rhythms just to have a little bit of comfort in the other sections. So it definitely throws a spanner in the works. It's definitely difficult.
Yeah, and it felt like watching that track, there were a few things that were sort of off. A lot of the riders talked about the rhythm section being a little bit, maybe the transitions were a little tighter than normal, and then that one big double coming back in off again, what I'll call the motocross section, that just dropped almost to flat, it seemed like, and it just was an awkward, a little bit, some of the obstacles were a little awkward.
Yeah, no, for sure. It was some hard landers for sure. Like when you came back into the stadium,
that
first jump, like, dude, that was hard landing. The old knee didn't like that too much. And then I see the 60s are doing it. I'm like, dude, I'm like landing almost in a stop because it was so soft on the landing. Like these 60s are hucking. I'm like, this is crazy. But then after that, you're clicking up. It's another 2 or 3 gears, and you hit this ski jump wide open, and it's some braking bumps. It's like, oh, it's so fast. And I'll tell you what, the roost, because where I was starting was way outside, because of the LCQ, and obviously I'm not the best starter, and I'm telling you, the roost, I had it was like 2 to 3 guys battling in front of me, and I'm just getting roost from every single one of them. I was just, I dusted my helmet, broke my visor off the first mow. Second mow, it hit it so hard it went down. Like it was brutal.
That's
the roost.
Crazy.
But that was, I never wear an underprotector, and I had to throw an underprotector on it, and that says a lot.
Yeah, it does. It does. Just a couple more. We got a couple more questions, a couple of Vital MX fan questions, and then we'll let you go.
No problem.
Dino, speaking of the knees, there was some topic in our listener chat that was asking about how the knees were and who you thinks are worse, yours or Chiz.
Definitely mine. I mean, I know Chiz's isn't good. He's like, I don't think he's got a meniscus, but like, dude, the mental surgeries and like I have no cartilage, no meniscus. And my ACL is artificial that I have. I had to go to Canada to get it done. They don't even do that surgery in America. And yeah, my knee's in bad shape. But I need a knee replacement, but they say you got to wait as long as you can. So I was kind of laughing with the boys. I was like, I'm like a wounded horse out there just trying to get through, just limping through the battlefield. But hey, we're getting it done. It'll be my last ever SMX anyway. So
yeah, we're
just enjoying it. And yeah, I mean, that's been the tough part about my career is I've done my ACL 5 times, and it's really hindered me just because I'm limited on what I can do. And when I turn left, like I don't really lean the bike because like if I dab my foot on the ground, like it's just bone on bone. So it's gnarly. And so it's not ideal, but it is what it is.
Yeah, I've done both my ACLs, and I can't imagine doing it 5 times.
Crazy.
I was watching that Grandpa Earl video, and the revving in the pit had me cracking up. Was that did you get that idea from Bobby Piazza?
Oh yeah, I forgot he was doing that. Yeah, no, we were just having a good laugh. We're just kind of just spitballing it, really, just on the spot, like just messing around. And no, I was funny for sure. And we would have got so much more bear stuff, but my battery died on the bike that I was using, and like we didn't get it fixed, so we had to cut it short. But we had a good laugh, and everyone seemed to like it. So it was it was good. It was good.
keep doing those, man. Those crack me up.
Yeah, the guy on the phone was triggered. That was awesome.
Oh
yeah, that was funny.
Once they go ahead. I was going to ask you, once that they realized, the guy that was all mad about that, did you eventually go, hey, it's Dean and ha ha ha, or did you just leave him mad?
No, by the end, like, because my bike died, and then it was the end of the day, so I was like, let's just get this makeup off, because, like, dude, I'm, like, the makeup's pretty gnarly. It's hot, and it's just not fun to have on, and it was, so I was like, let's just start taking it off, and then they were, like, all laughing, so
That's great.
That was good. It was, it was cool.
I think my favorite was the smells like privateers with the pump gas.
Yeah,
that line, I don't know if that was spur of the moment or you had that, like, if that was something you had.
Yeah, no, that was just spur of the moment. It was, it was a good laugh.
I'm going to use that one.
Fun.
Yeah, that
and
was.
It was like, it was like kind of frustrating because, like, we flew out like a filmer, a makeup guy, the grandson. So we made an effort for it, and then we went to the Lawrence's. We get there, absolutely downpours, and that's why we had to be on that like sand track that we were on.
Okay.
And then we go to Tampa MX, and then the bike died, and then it was just like, we didn't know like if we got what we wanted, but we were committed anyway. So it turned out pretty good. I mean, obviously, I know the first one's going to be hard to top, and it's always hard to make this a sequel. But we had fun doing it, and it was just a good laugh, and it was fun.
Where did y'all have the mic for the exhaust? Because that was spot on.
I had a mic on my jersey.
Okay, yeah, that's all right. As soon as I saw that, man, I was dying.
So
yeah.
Couple more on the Grandpa Earl thing. One of the Vital forum members, Ramrod, wanted to know if Colt was in on it the second time. Obviously, he didn't know the first time. When you did the call with him, did he know what you were doing ahead of time?
When what?
When you called Colt, when you FaceTime Colt Nichols.
Oh, no, I just called him, and then, we were just laughing, and then, because we had to try and connect the dot on how I got to the Lawrence farm, so like, we're like, let's use, Colt and call him, so it was kind of funny to bring that back, and then obviously that was the grandson from the first time who's all grown up now, and then, that was his mom at the beginning as well, so it was actually quite funny.
Which one was his mom? At the very beginning?
Oh, easy, dark side.
Yeah. the beginning was my favorite scene.
Yeah.
It was, yeah, exactly. It was the beginning when like he's watering the grass, and then it's the mom looking for Grandpa Earl.
Oh yeah,
that's not what he was talking about.
No, I was at the beach.
Yeah,
I was at the beach.
Yeah.
All right, I got a couple more Vital forum questions for you real quick. Let's see here. Let me scroll through these because we got a bunch. All right, Plowboy wants to know if once you're done, you're going to head back to Scotland for the free healthcare.
Oh, shit. I don't know. I don't think the weather. You go back home, and like I try to go back every year. I don't know. I don't think I'll get to go back this year, but you go back, and it's nice to go back home because nothing's like home. But I'll tell you what, it really makes you appreciate living in Florida or California. Like the weather is so nice here.
Absolutely.
It's quite gloomy But, I don't think I'll ever move there full time again, but I still have a house there, so I go back when I can. It's just a nice refreshment, and it's cool to take my son there and give him a bit of Scottish heritage,
For sure. Yeah, absolutely. Okay, Burn 1986, he basically says, we need you back for another season because we need your track talk. MB60 says, can you do a few GNCC races next year and start a tube series on how the season goes?
Oh, absolutely not. My knee does not like outdoors. I'm sure it's not going to love GNCC.
Yeah, trees
I was going to say that's rough on the knees.
Just all the stabbing on the leg. Like, that's why I can get away with just like riding Supercross because like it's, for one, there's landings on most of the jumps. Outdoors, you're really flat landing and like, it's a lot more duration on the bike too. Like, you're doing 35s during the week and you're stabbing your leg. I mean, you know, you have more risk, I feel like, and it's just a lot more wear and tear on the knee. Whereas Supercross, like, it's shorter. You have downsides. You can keep your feet on the pegs around the corners more. And so that's how I can get away with it a lot more. And you know, that's what I am now, Supercross only guy, really. But yeah, GNCCs, I think I just missed that window.
I hear you. Yeah, they're fun to do, but yeah, it would be hell if you had knee problems, I think. So probably a good call to not do those. Sandberm656 wants to know how the Brazil deal came about. Was that Yariv and Firepower or Eric Bernard? How did you get the opportunity to race in Brazil?
Yeah, so the Brazil thing came about. I was just hanging out during the summer, and then so they're both of their riders. I think they raced the first round. It was just a 3-round series, and then they both actually got hurt. So they needed a rider. So they called Yariv, and Yariv kind of set it up with the Honda guy there and Ronaldo over there, who runs the factory Honda Brazil. Yeah, we got all organized and went over there, and they really looked after me and had a lot of fun. Like, you know, I can't tell you the last time. I mean, nothing's guaranteed, but I can't tell you the last time when I showed up to a race kind of knowing I was going to win. You know, it's a good feeling. It's a good feeling. So
yeah,
we had fun. And it was just cool to see. I've never been in Brazil, to check it all out. And the people and the fans were awesome. Like, they're very passionate, like more sport enthusiasts, you know, like they're just like, they love it. And the media outlets too over there, like, I didn't realize how much media and stuff they have over there. Like, they have some really, like, all the writers and media have a lot of followers and stuff on Instagram. It's bigger than I expected, for sure.
Yeah, I think Brazil and South America is just very passionate about everything. They're just passionate people.
Right, like, yeah, like if you look at Enzo Lopes, if he makes a post or something, how much like of the Brazilian fans comment and like his post, you know, they love it over there. It's pretty cool. It's really cool.
100%. One more vital question. Team Green wants to know if you're having a party or after party at Vegas to celebrate your career. I figure you just go to the Phil Nicoletti one.
No, because my plan is for the next couple years, I want to keep racing, but I'm just not full time. So I want to kind of make my own schedule and do fun races that I want to do, and that's my plan. I don't want to race full time anymore because I just don't feel like I'm at that level, and it's just. But I want to keep racing and try to do a couple more years, because you know what? When you retire, and it's over, like it's over, you know, like that chapter's. I talk to a lot of ex-pros, and, you know, I take their advice. They're like, dude, go as long as you can, because, you know, when that chapter's done, like, it's over, and I love what I do, and I enjoy it. And if I can still make, you know, a decent penny racing this overseas stuff and international races and keep the YouTube going and have fun with it, then why not? But to be racing all 17 round Supercross and stuff like that, I'm just the level's too gnarly, and it's just I just don't really want to do that anymore.
Totally understand. Well, Dino, we'll see you this weekend in Fort Worth, and after that, you still got a bunch of racing going with the Australia AusX Open and World Supercross. So you'll be around for a while. We'll be enjoying watching you racing. Always a pleasure to have you on here, and yeah, look forward to seeing you this weekend.
Thank you. Thanks for having me, guys. Appreciate it.
All right, anytime. Take care, Dino.
Cheers. Bye-bye.
It's Dean Wilson tonight, brought to you by Guts Racing. Definitely a favorite of fans and shows and his YouTube channel, all that stuff. Good stuff from Dino. You guys want to move into X-Brand Forum? We'll get back to the beginning of the show stuff at the end. You guys cool with that? Anybody? Anything?
It's your show, man.
Yep.
Oh, it's my show?
Yep.
Oh, all right. Well, we're done, guys. Got to go get some food. I'm hungry, as always.
There's pizza 6 foot away.
Yeah,
we
ate pizza. Actually, did you guys turn the oven off?
Yes.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
As per requested.
Cool. X-Brand is your choice for clear vision. I just spit everywhere. Awesome. X-Brand is your choice for clear vision and a leader in motocross and off-road goggles. X-Brand is used by many of the top GNCC riders, including 2023 XC1 champion Craig DeLong, 2023 National Hare and Hound champion Dalton Shurry, Enduro champion Grant Baylor, Lyndon Snodgrass, as well as motocross, supercross, and arena cross riders like Kyle Chisholm, Freddie Noren, Henry Miller, Michael Hicks, Richard Taylor, Jerry Robin, and guess who else? Anybody? Carter freaking Gray.
Yeah.
Carter freaking Gray. Visit EKSbrand.com or go to your local dealership and ask for X Brand, distributed through WPS.
Our guy got hosed.
He really
They
did.
told him not to do it,
Yeah.
but and like his
Telling him
trainer,
not to do it is.
They knew the rule. He wasn't supposed to jump the
He
triple
knew he
last
wasn't
year
supposed to.
either.
The trainer told him
No.
if he wanted to do
Is
it,
mine?
do it.
Check. Okay.
Why
Hey,
are they
Bob.
telling him not to?
I mean, you did see him blow apart.
I think
on
because
the-
they're worried about kids getting hurt.
Yeah,
man. It's a
they
safety
are.
thing. Like dude.
know.
I'm
Carter's
not. Look, I'm a Carter Gray fan.
Yeah, he's the man.
I'm not against the rule, and he broke the rule. It is what it is. They were told not to do the triple.
At the
last
end
year.
of the day, the only thing anybody remembers from the 65s last year was them doing those jumps.
Yep.
Him doing it this year, like nobody's going to remember that he got third. That race
yeah,
doesn't mean
they're gonna
anything.
remember that he was too ballsy for the rest of the class.
Yeah,
because
people always remember that.
Like Jaden Smart and I can't remember the kid that got second. V. His last name starts with a V.
No, he got third. Chase. Chase
Brennan.
Yeah.
Yeah, like those kids were jumping it in practice too, but they were told not to. So
Yeah,
so he obviously got a huge get because I honestly think Chase Brennan was probably going to get him.
If he wouldn't have jumped it, he probably would have beat him. Yeah.
Like it was pretty. He was all over him.
I agree with getting docked. They told him not to do it. It's rules are rules, but like I said, that's
It's
all
fine.
anybody's going to remember.
I like that the coach was like, just do what you
Me
want.
too.
Do your jumps.
Shout out to that dude.
Yeah.
Okay, our X Brand form check-in is titled "Stop Whining," posted by Blockhead17. Here it is.
Good thing TJ's not here.
Yeah, these threads. SMX was boring. Too many people in the booth. Will, meaning Christian, I assume, sucks. Track was lame. Blah, blah, blah. We got to watch some awesome racing. Deegan ripping through the pack, both motos. Eli with a comeback, Jet putting in an incredible first ride back, and the 450 race coming down to the last lap. What's not to love? So basically what he's saying is he's seeing threads all over Twitter, etc., where people are like, SMX was boring, blah, all those things he said at the beginning. But he's saying it's ridiculous. It's awesome. We're getting to go racing. A lot of cool stuff. Even I said at the beginning, didn't necessarily know if I love it, the format or whatever. I haven't really fully decided yet. But I think Blockhead's right. There's so much awesomeness within it that we got to be excited and where our sport's at and that we have this. I said last year, and I stand by it, I think the season's too long. I don't think it's fair to our athletes. But as a fan, it is freaking awesome.
Yeah. MXGP is what, 20 rounds, something like that? And
21 or something
20,
like that.
21, something like that. And I mean, that's 10 rounds shorter than we do.
But they have qualifying races in 2 days,
Yeah,
so you can
but
have those
they
different-
also,
Yeah.
it's also not a big deal if they take a week off.
Yeah,
Like the training over here is
that's
it's
true.
getting to be kind of ridiculous. But he's right though. Like everything, like change is good. We haven't seen any change in Supercross
I don't
since
like
we.
change.
Yeah. We haven't seen anything different since they ran semis in what, like 08.
There hasn't been
09?
any significant changes.
Yeah, no significant changes since the beginning of the sport. Really, like get over it, man. But that's the world we live in. People have to find something to bitch about.
We do hear a lot about trying new things. Like I've heard Super Pole mentioned. It's in other things. The SMX playoffs would be a good chance to test that out. Maybe give them an extra SMX point or whatever, however you want to do it. I think Super Pole would be a good way, but
I don't think they'll do that because WSX does it.
Yeah, that's got to
that's-
go to like the Japanese
I
not
don't
doing
really
a
like Super
350. Like
I don't like Super Bowl.
It's different.
It's just one guy riding on the track. I'm like, yay.
yeah,
it's cool.
maybe do it during.
I don't think it is.
Maybe do it during
It's
race
cool that
day.
you think
Race
it's
day
cool. That's
live.
fine. I mean, that's difference of opinion. I don't think it's cool. If they did it, I'd be like, all right, whatever. But then where's that go? We got a 3-hour show already. Where do they put Super Bowl? How long is that going to take for each class?
Then you got this. You got to take the 65s or the 85 race out so they can do all that. And yeah. Days long.
More
The days
time,
long
more
enough.
time
Yeah.
with the stars on the tracks. Or do we take out? What do we take out?
Do Super Pole as part of the end of the race day live thing.
That's what I was saying. But I mean, it's still a longer day.
Still more time on the track. More damage to the
One
track.
more lap.
More time for those guys to be on the track to maybe get hurt. I don't know. I mean, I'm
I
not.
mean, you're
I'm not
doing what you
totally-
do best,
No,
being
I'm not
super
totally
negative
against
and
it. I'm just saying I can
crapping on
see
everything I
here's some
think
reasons,
of.
but even with TV, like where do they add it? I guess then you take out other stuff. How much time does it take?
I don't hate the idea, but
And then
it's not
just
going to
guys
happen.
riding around
Right.
by themselves. So is it that exciting? Really? Is it worth? Like I'd rather see the 65s race than take that out.
Me too.
At least we have battles.
Yeah.
I mean, again, I'm not. Okay, go ahead and do it. Maybe I'll grow to like it. I don't know.
Super
I
Pole's
just
cool.
don't love the idea.
Super Pole's cool in Paris because it's so compact. A minute 40 lap time with one guy riding would get boring pretty quick.
Yeah.
Pretty quick.
Yeah, Any other thoughts on?
Just going to add Super Pole to the list of things that triggers dark side. Keep that one on.
I don't. Okay, whatever. I'm not gonna. You know what?
Stop acting like an idiot. You're the idiot. Don't be an idiot. Changed my life.
Barnett clutches. Barnett Dirt Digger clutch kits have 75 years of experience behind every kit. Engineered for maximum performance, Dirt Digger clutch kits feature friction materials formulated exclusively for Barnett. Get yours at barnettclutches.com and get 10% off. Barnett clutches, clutch performance of the week. I actually have one for Vince Pale. I got to pull up. Who wants to go first? Anybody?
I'll go. Hold on.
We haven't done highs and lows yet. We got to go back to highs and lows.
I was wondering about that.
Yeah, well, we had Mike on, so
Yep.
Clutch performance.
We'll get to it at the end.
I mean, Beaumer. He hasn't really
Okay.
ran up front at all. I mean, he
I'll just
a couple
cross that off
times.
my list.
Yeah, I figured it. That's why I went first, because I figured it was kind of everybody's. But I mean, the kid looked awesome. And
Yeah, the part that was clutch for, besides just how he rode, and he's coming on a little bit, is how he held Joe Shimoda off at the end. Because he definitely seemed to be losing pace there towards the end. Max Anstey got him, but he held Joe off, and I don't know for sure if he knew he needed to. I think he actually mentioned in the press, or maybe on the podium. I can't remember or the press conference, but we'll talk to him about that. But yeah, I put him down as one of mine. Vince Pell said in the 450 class, Colt 45, coming out of the LCQ and getting 9th overall was his clutch performance. And the 250 class, Cameron McAdoo, again, out of the LCQ and taking 8th after recently returning from injury. So those are Vince's clutch performances. What you got, Scotty?
I used him for Ironman as well, but I'm going to go with Tomac.
Okay.
That was
just how good he rode.
Yeah. I mean, wasn't not expecting that.
That was on my short list.
Okay. I'm going to go with Jorge Prado, getting the overall in MXGP, tightening it up to 14 points with 2 rounds to go. He went 3-1 for the overall, and Geyser went 4-2. And honestly, I thought about putting Jeremy Sewer on there because he won the first moto. Jeremy hasn't won a moto, I don't think, all year.
I don't think he has all year.
Got overall podium, so great job for Jeremy. So that's another option. And I also wrote down as a backup Carson Brown with the Eras video with him and AP in the woods.
Oh, yeah, that was good.
That was really cool. That was
good.
actually last week, but I forgot to mention it, so I just added it to this week.
I watched that, and then I watched the Grandpa Earl video.
Yeah. So, but yeah, I'm going to give it. I think I'm going to give it to Prado as my number one. But we have a little bit of time before we have to get to Julien Beaumer, so we can go back to the Yamaha Motor USA highs and lows. A reputation for dominance. It doesn't happen overnight. It's built over decades. The YZ story is over 50 years of iconic machines and groundbreaking innovations. Yamaha took the championship-winning bikes and made them even better because the best doesn't rest. Check them out at YamahaMotorsports.com or go to your local dealership and check out the Yamahas. Okay, Yamaha highs and lows. Anybody got theirs ready? You want me to go?
Go ahead.
All right, so my highs were SMX, just racing in general. Glad to have racing in the weekend. Football Sunday. Football's back. That is my team played Monday night, but that's a high, winning. Slipknot next Wednesday. Got confirmed for that for some passes with me and one of my stepdaughters, and I got to ride Sunday on a new track. So those are my highs. Lows. Jet and Hayden just being so damn dominant. Just kind of, I just don't want them to be that dominant.
Yeah.
I just don't. I want it to be close every weekend, period.
Yeah, we haven't talked about Hayden yet, but I'm sure we'll get to that.
We'll get to all that. And then there is a possibility that I will not be getting a Yamaha to ride this year because ML decided he likes it enough that he wants to keep it. And each media company gets one, so I may not get one. That is going to be a low.
You poor thing.
That will be a low if I don't get one.
You're not vital enough, would someone say.
That is true. I am not vital enough. But so those are my highs and lows. Go ahead. Either one of you.
Go ahead, Chase.
Highs, I mean, Tomac, it was nice seeing him run out front again. I know Scotty just said that, and then also the lows, the high, my high, one of my highs was the lows temperatures this weekend. It was actually kind of fallish, and I know it's going to get hot again because it's Texas, but I was pretty stoked about that. And then lows, Webb, he ran off the track, and then he cut like 5 corners, and he had a rough day. He said I got back where I was. He was over it. He just didn't want to fight through everybody.
Right.
Yeah. My highs were just it was just an overall good weekend. Got to ride open practice on Friday, race Saturday night, watched SMX, football was back, had a company golf tournament on Monday. Just can't really beat that. And And then my lows was Phil getting his shock blown out.
Yeah, it was rough.
That was bad.
Did you guys find the video yet?
No, we asked who was under. We're waiting on you. You're the one that saw it.
I would just have to scroll through.
I'll do some research.
Instagram. And I don't know. It just popped up. I can't remember who
Yeah,
posted
hopefully
it.
I'll see it. I'm looking forward to that. That'll be one of
I'm
my.
surprised it's not on Phil's.
All right, yeah, I looked at Phil's for something else earlier today, and I didn't see it.
A couple of our listeners sent in some highs and lows. Shane Bagley said his high was Carter Gray, busted some massive jumps and hit the finish double. Our section of stands went nuts. Also a high was the wife and I enjoyed Concord and the SMX weekend. Low, Carter got docked for hitting the finish line jump. Let the kids jump the jumps. Another low is my last live race of the year. Hit Detroit and Indy Supercross, High Point Ironman, Pro Motocross, and Charlotte. So last one from Shane. Scrolling through, Vince Pale said he ripped a KLX 140 at Facility 15 and Pagoda Mini Track. Really digging this bike and the stock mod setup. Hitting the step-up jump at Pagoda on the YZ250F, and his lows, limited ride time last week. So that's Vince Pale. I know I got another one somewhere here. I think Faith Williams sent in. Yeah, highs. She turned 20 today, so happy birthday to Faith, who says she still feels like she's 18. Faith, you're only 20. That's not that big of a difference. Wait till you're 40. Then you can make a comment. Highs. Me and my mom went to a bunch of places and got free birthday items. I dig that. There you go. Low, there's 3 fires worth of smoke around my house right now. I guess, yeah, SoCal's on fire. That's a low, obviously. And then she wrote another one. I'm not sure I have a low. But, so yeah, those are hers. Okay. I guess that's it. Yep, that's all my highs and lows. That's all we got from listeners right now. MotoXpodshow@gmail.com if you want to get involved with these segments. Also, go to Vital MX and sign up for the fantasy game. There is a MotoXpod Show League. Just a few more minutes before we get Vince Pale on. We've already talked about, or not Vince Pale. Sorry. We get Juju on. Do we want to talk about Hayden? Do we just, is there anything really to be said?
What's there to say?
Holy crap. All right. What do you have to say about Hayden Deegan?
On that track, I did not expect him to catch all the way up to first and then leave them.
Yeah, me either, with how fast that track was and how hard it was to make up time. He was just doing all kinds of little weird stuff that was working.
And I don't know if what I missed, but I did not understand the gate choice pick. I know there might be something else to that, but
From Hayden?
Yeah.
The first one, he was pretty far left, right? Because him and Swole got
he was
together.
He was on the outside of. I mean, he was second gate pick, and he's on the very outside of his lane.
It was inside. It was all the way inside.
Yeah, he was on the inside because he was on the left.
I don't know.
They were on the left.
Apparently,
on the first one, I don't remember where he started. Did he start in the same place in the second one?
I don't remember. I don't think so.
But on the first one, he was all the way left, and him and Jalik got together.
Yeah, he was next to RJ.
He may have went to the other side because the right
Maybe
side
that was Moto 2?
I don't know.
Moto 1, he was all the way left.
I thought when they red flagged it,
that was Moto 1.
Yeah, when they red flagged it, I thought that him and RJ changed sides.
You have to go back to the same
I know,
spot.
that's why I was
ran
confused.
Jalik off the track.
Yeah.
Which was all the way to the left because he hit the tough block and then knocked himself out.
I'd have to go back and watch, but I think he lined up on the right side the next time because they were saying that even though you can't cover your rear brake in that right-hand turn, you could sweep the second corner and carry so much more speed that all the whole shots came from that side.
I thought he still started on the left in the second one. But
he may have, but a lot of people switched over to that.
Either way, he didn't get great starts anyway.
Yeah, true.
But Hayden is, with all the talk about the things he says and blah, blah, he is the best rider out there in that class. He just is. Again, sort of like Jet. He came from fairly far back and walked off on everybody. Man,
you can say what you want when nobody can really touch
RJ
you.
was running with him a little bit, but he was getting past when he had the crash, and he wasn't going to hang with Hayden. He just wasn't. And I don't know what those guys are supposed to do.
Yeah, I don't know. RJ already kind of rides on the edge.
Yeah.
So, you push it any further, things happen. That quad was,
on a 250F too.
Yeah, on a 250F. And, how hard he was hitting the face of that, I think they were running, but most of the 250 guys were running more supercross stuff and just softening it a little bit versus a hybrid setup because it would blow your hands off the handlebars bouncing off that.
I thought it was kind of funny that we were hearing team managers and riders saying, well, yeah, we're looking at the data and it's really not any faster.
You can
so
see
we're just not going to do it. But it was clearly faster.
They can say what they want.
Yeah, nobody really wanted to do it.
Mama wrong again. Yeah.
Yeah. We'll ask our next guest when we get him on here, maybe at the end, his thoughts on on Hayden. But yeah, it's interesting how good he is right now. But our next guest is on the line, and he's going to be brought to you tonight by FXR, which is designed by racers for racers with industry-leading fit, finish, and performance. Progression is the name of the game with every new piece created. At FXR, we push our brand to the next level to provide you with the best products possible, used by the Muck-Off FXR Club MX Yamaha team, Mike Brown, Brock Tickle, Chris Kiefer, Benny Bloss, and many more. FXR has core motor roots, so visit fxrracing.com or go to your local dealership and ask for FXR today. The 25 line is out. The complete line is out. Tonight, FXR brings us from Red Bull KTM, Mr. Julien Juju Beaumer. What's up, Juju?
How's it going? Thanks, guys, for having me.
Absolutely. Glad to have you on. Yeah, I tried to get you on a few weeks ago, but you didn't see the text, or you just ignored me. I don't know, Juju, but we're glad to have you on now.
He was jet ski racing.
Yeah, he might have been racing a jet ski. That's true.
No, I didn't see a text until you texted me this week. So
yeah, it's all good, man. It's all good. So, yeah, let's talk about SMX just to start off. First podium, 2-4 for second. Your fifth overall, I think, in points in SMX right now. Hell of a great round for you. You said post-race that you're riding the way you believed you could and getting the results you believed. But really, man, what do you feel the difference has been in the last few weeks? Has there been anything, or is it just, yeah, you just put it all together?
I think just consistent days of work. I had 3 really good weeks where I don't think I really had a day where I was off. I was fast every day at the test track. There wasn't like a day where I was good and a day where I was bad. I was pretty good every day, and I was in a really good place physically, mentally going into SMX. And I knew that if I could have my starts dialed like I did on Saturday, that I could run up front with those guys. And I feel like I did that. I rewatched the race, and I still feel like I'm not riding to the capability I do at the test track, and I'm still a good.
Okay, let me follow that up then. What are you seeing that's not at the level you know you can be, and how do you get to that level? Like, what are you seeing, and what do you need to fix or do differently, and how do you make it happen?
I'm a bit too notchy at the race. Make too many mistakes. Don't roll enough. There's some speed that is missing that I have during the week that I'm not bringing to the race. I think if I'm 100% from what I ride at the test track to the race, then we can definitely win one of these.
Okay. One more question before I pass it to my co-host here. This is your first full season. 23, you did some futures, you won some races, but this is the first full 250 Supercross season, outdoor season. You're putting it all together, coming from amateurs. Has it been more difficult than you expected? Were you prepared for how taxing it is, travel-wise, et cetera? How do you feel about that stuff for the season so far?
Yeah, for sure. I think the travel is obviously very, very taxing on the body. You spend a lot of days in the plane, and you obviously have to recover really well. But no, I think just the being at the races every weekend. I mean, in the amateurs, you only race 8 times. I mean, not even 6 times a year. So just being at the races every weekend and racing as many times as we do during the year is definitely been a learning experience. And obviously, I've made it known that I had injuries during Supercross, had the concussion in outdoors, and just having to fight through that stuff and show up every weekend, no matter how you feel, how good you feel, how much pain you're in, showing up each weekend and doing the job has been a big learning experience for me. But I feel like that helped me in the long run when now I'm back to 100% and I'm fully healthy going into these SMX rounds. So it helped me with knowing that I'm ready to go.
Okay.
All right, Juju, I have a very important question for you. Did you enjoy the ride?
Oh, Neil.
Definitely enjoyed the ride on Saturday.
Do you?
A-Ray will be happy.
Yeah, I was just say, do you ever get to talk with A-Ray? Does he help you out?
Yeah, for sure. I was actually on the phone with him yesterday. No, I talked to A-Ray and Mark quite a bit. Obviously, they're A-Ray's at O'Neill now, so it's nice having those guys. And yeah, definitely talked to them quite a bit. Yeah.
On a serious note, though, it was cool seeing after the race your interaction with Davey and your team around you, and you know it was a big moment for you, and it was cool to see that. And you could tell that Davey has y'all have a good relationship, and that he has a lot invested in you, and he saw that reward. So what's it like working with him and having a guy like that and the things that you learned from?
Yeah, for sure. Having Davey around is amazing. We have a really good relationship. We're really close. I speak to him every day, and he stays with me when he's in California. So we're really tight, and I feel like I've frustrated him quite a bit this season with the way I've been riding, because we see so much more of me during the week, and I frustrated him quite a bit all season. So he was happy with being on the box finally, but he came to me after the race. He's like, we're still off from where we're at the test track, and we rewatched the race last night together, and we know where we're off at, and we know what we need to work on going into these last two, and where we need to be better.
Okay.
So racing SMX with the like Supercross suspension on the motocross style section out there, how does that compare to like racing jet skis? Because they don't have suspension. I gotta think that they kind of beat you to death. I rode like stand-ups when I was a kid, and it was just like riding a board across the water, it felt like.
Yeah, for sure. It honestly, it probably helped quite a bit, especially I raced jet skis last weekend, so I fought quite a bit for that. And then going into this weekend, obviously the track was pretty much a complete outdoor track besides the singular rhythm they had on the track, but you had to run Supercross suspension with how peaky that rhythm was. So having to adapt to running Supercross suspension on an outdoor setting of a track, I mean, I feel like obviously they can't rip it as deep and stuff like outdoors, so it didn't get as rough as a normal outdoor track would be. I think it'd be a different situation if we were on an actual outdoor track with a Supercross section. But no, for sure, having to adapt to running Supercross suspension when it gets bumpy like that is definitely challenging.
Did you mentally, from the perspective of fans and us the way we watch the races is, the ride came out of nowhere. We know that you had the speed, but it was definitely an impressive ride. And it happens, they announced that you did this jet ski race, and mentally was that kind of like a break? Like, hey, I'm focusing on something else other than motocross. And when you came back, it's like, oh yeah, I actually enjoyed doing this. Do you think that has something to do with the success you had this weekend?
Yeah, for sure. I think not even just the jet ski race. I feel like the last maybe 6 to 8 weeks, I feel like in the beginning of the season, it was all like moto. Even when I was at home chilling, I was thinking about racing, and I tried to kind of separate myself. Like if I wasn't at the track, like I don't want to talk too much about racing. Like obviously me and Davey, I'll call him and we'll talk about my day and how my day went, how I was riding or whatever. But after that, it's like I try to stay away from talking about moto and just do other things. Try to limit how much I think about it, and try to focus on just getting my mind off it and doing other things. And I feel like I changed that for the last 6 to 8 weeks, and it definitely showed that just being a little less focused on it, obviously being focused on race day, but trying to think about other things and do other things to keep my mind off of it has helped quite a bit.
Yeah, I think that's super important. Like you're one of the few guys that, I mean, everybody plays golf or whatever, but you're doing another sport, you have almost a second, like you're a dual sport athlete almost. I don't know, you're a little young, but back in the day we had like football, baseball players like Bo Jackson and Deion Sanders who played both sports. Basically, what I'm getting at is you're not getting burnt out. And I think that's kind of what you were saying. Having something like that as a second outlet will help your longevity in this sport because it's not 24/7 moto.
Yeah, for sure. And I feel like I did do a lot of that 24/7 moto from, I'd say, in mid-August or right before Loretta's last year when I found out that I was going to race the last two nationals, all the way until maybe I'd say the right at Washougal was when I was like, all right, like I need to step away a little bit and try to just have something else going on. And I had gone to Havasu. I rode in Havasu, but when I wasn't riding, I was either jet skiing or I went on the boat. Like I just tried to step away a little bit, and even at dinner, like even at the races, say we had press on Friday, like when we left the track, I had no one in my camp talking about moto. We were talking about other things and really just trying to limit how much we thought about it and talked about it.
Yeah. So I can see, as I said, I can see the positive side, especially on the mental side of stepping away. Can you see any negatives on the physical side or the performance side where like, oh, it takes me a day or two to really get back into the groove, or are you not sensing that?
No, it wasn't like I wasn't riding or I wasn't on the spin bike doing that stuff. I still did everything I had been doing before. It was just like when I left the track, no more moto.
Okay.
If I was doing a bike ride, yeah, we talked about it and we did whatever. But then when I get home from a bike ride, like, we don't talk about it anymore. And so it was just more of like, I stayed on the program and what I was doing, but when I was outside of that, we didn't talk about it. So just having that separation was nice.
I want to go back to a question I asked you a little while ago, and being that it's your first year, I asked you, things if you were preparation surprised you or anything, but what about the level of competition? You mentioned only in the amateurs, you only race maybe 6 times a year, 7 times a year, really. And then even when you're at those races, there's 2 or 3 guys that are at the top level, but now you're racing, everybody's at the top level almost. Has that been surprising in any way?
Yeah, for sure. I think there was a lot of times, like in my preparation coming into the year, where I could do my fast laps at the test track, but I struggled being able to do that for the longevity of a main event or a moto. And I really tried to focus on this break going into SMX on making sure my sprint laps I could do my sprint laps for 20+1 in the moto. And I think doing that, like, obviously my sprint lap, I can go the pace of the guys in the front, but doing that for 20 minutes is a different story. And I was able to do that for 3 weeks straight of just doing my sprint laps during a moto. And I think knowing that pace going into the race and knowing that I can do that pace for that long was a big help in my confidence. And I feel like after this weekend, we're in a really good place going into Dallas.
Okay. Scotty?
I wanted to ask one more question about the World Championship jet ski thing that you qualified for. How much pedigree does that thing have, like in the world of that sport? Is that a super big deal? Are you going to be able to do it? Just kind of go a little more detailed of what that means.
Yeah, for sure. It's I think the second biggest finals in jet skiing. Obviously, King's Cup in Thailand is the highest step, I believe. So I've done that before when I was a little bit younger, but this one's in Havasu. It's at home, and Red Bull, everyone's on board for it. So it's definitely going to be exciting.
So JMB came over here, did some racing, and then went on to like super bikes. You obviously like other racing sports. Is there any like goal to go over and try to do some of that later on in your career?
Yeah, for sure. I've thought about trying other things. Obviously, I wanna become a champion, and I wanna check off all my goals in Supercross and motocross first, and then I think after that I'll think about maybe switching over and maybe going to Europe, doing MXGP for a little bit.
Nice.
I feel like that'd be cool after I accomplish everything I want to accomplish here.
But since you just said that, who are your guys in MXGP? Like, who are you pulling for? Who you like watching? I'm a Kida Wolf guy. That's my guy. This championship's coming down. It's gonna be tight these next couple rounds. But yeah, who do you like to watch?
250 class. Kida Wolf's really good. Lucas Coolant extremely fast as well. Those are probably my two top guys. Everts is very smooth. I really like the way he rides.
Yeah.
450, obviously Hurlings is incredible, but I'm really close with Prado. So
okay.
I'm pulling for Prado to win this title.
Yeah, that's starting to it's tightening up a little bit. He was my Barnett clutch performance of the week on the show this week because that first overall tightened it up to 14 points. Actually, I said the 250 class is actually done. I think I don't think I think Kai's got it probably locked in. I think
Kai's pretty far ahead.
I think I said a minute ago it's tight, but I was thinking the 450 class, but MXGP. But then Prado coming over next year. That's probably exciting for you then.
Yeah, for sure. I'm pretty close with him, and we talk quite a bit. So
nice.
We trained together quite a bit when he was here as well. So having him back here, we'll probably train off the bike quite a bit and hang out quite a bit. So
very cool.
I'm excited to come back.
Julien Beaumer brought to you tonight by FXR. I want to go back to this last weekend's race at Charlotte, leading some laps. What did you learn from that? You being up front, running that pace, feeling that lead again, that's got to be very big emotionally, mentally. What did you take away?
Yeah, for sure. Obviously, Hayden was riding really good, but I think the biggest thing for me was being able to break away and get that 5-second lead in the beginning. and really like having that confidence of, all right, like I can do this. I'm as good as these guys, and I can be up here. So once he got around me, just trying to learn from him and see what he was doing different, see where he's gaining time in the lines he's taking. He's very crafty with his lines. So being able to learn from him and see that craftiness and how much he looks around is definitely a big thing for me.
Yeah, I think he was the first one I saw use that berm to the backside of the berm it wasn't really a berm. I guess it was the backside of a lane that he was using. Did you copy that? Like after you saw him do it, I feel like I saw you do it next.
Yeah, I picked up on it right after he did it. He didn't do it the lap he passed me, but I'm pretty sure the next lap he did it. Yep. And I picked up on it. But he's got some crafty lines for sure, and he's very good at seeing the whole track and finding good lines. So learning from that was very good for me.
Yeah, I don't want to dominate your interview about him too much, but in the press conference, he was kind of asked about you, and because he congratulated you, he seemed very happy for you, and he had the comment of, "Yeah, it's fine. I'm happy for him getting his first win or first podium. He's doing well, but once he starts running with me every weekend, that will shift." That's just a racer mentality. But did you have any thoughts on that comment?
Yeah, for sure. Looks like we aren't going to be friends soon. So.
I like it. Yeah, you're like, I'm going to be there, so suck it up, buddy.
Yeah, looks like we aren't going to be friends soon.
Great. That's great. Great quote. I like it.
How was the, it's kind of it's an honor to be able to do the press conference at the end and be up there with those guys and be a part of that. What did you think? I'm sure it's not your first one, but what did you think of that, especially doing it in the playoffs?
Yeah, for sure. Obviously being in the post-race press conference is where you want to be. And I think it was one of the outdoor rounds. Our coordinator Stephanie was like, I think it was after the race. We were waiting. Tom was in the press conference. She's like, "We'll have you in one of these soon." And on Saturday after the race, I told you we'd be here soon. So I was happy to be in the post race press conference, and the plan is to be back in on these next 2 weekends.
Was there a pretty significant change in your following and your fans and DMs and stuff like that after something like that?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, obviously, you get a lot of TV time, a lot of exposure. So the Instagram blows up a little bit, but no, just try to stay off it too much. Don't focus on what too many people are saying, and just keep doing my work.
Nice.
After doing like a full season, is there a track or stadium you like really enjoyed going to?
Obviously, I really like Charlotte.
Yeah,
recency bias.
Yeah, a little bias on Charlotte, but I'd say I really like Glendale. It's a home race. The Red Zone, the Cardinal Stadium's amazing, so that's a really cool place. And then, let's see. I like Nashville. Nashville was sick.
Oh, that's I fully believe that should be the final round of the series. If Vegas can't be, Nashville should be.
100% Nashville should be final.
I'm skipping Daytona and going to Nashville next year.
It's not on the schedule right now. I think it's out. Yeah, because
after them running over jumping the barriers and all that.
Well, I heard it's because they're building a new stadium.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's wild.
I don't think the new stadium is going to be built ready until 26, so it might be off for a couple of years. Damn. I'm not sure.
Yeah.
Well, I'm definitely going to Nashville now.
Yeah. So. Juju, just a couple more. I've got a couple of Vital MX questions, but I want to ask you, during Moto 2, were you aware that the overall was on the line when Deegan was after you? And then at the end, were you aware that the podium was on the line when Joe was catching you?
I was aware of Deegan because obviously I was in second. I didn't know where Levi finished, and Deegan was behind me. So I knew that if I beat him, I won the overall. And then with Joe, I didn't know it was for the podium.
Okay.
The only thing I knew was that he had finished third in Moto 1, so I didn't want him to beat me.
Okay, fair.
I was like, well, if I beat him and I'm on the podium, it's most likely second, so I need to beat him.
Yeah.
And no, when I seen his front fender on the last lap, I was like, all right, this is getting a little too close for comfort. So yeah, that was tricky, and then I had to definitely pull some fast lines out towards the end, but no, I got it done, so I was happy.
Yeah, it seemed like that after the race that you were somewhat surprised that you were able to hold him off. When you get to that point where you're pushing to your over your limits, Is that something that you're getting more comfortable in doing?
Yeah, for sure. I don't think I was pushing over my limits. More so, I was just obviously I knew the podium was in reach, and for my first podium, I was pretty tight. I was a little bit stressed going into that last lap, so definitely had to try and bring that back in, and I was able to towards the end of that moto.
All right, just a couple more. We got some Vital MX forum questions for you. MX Addict says Julien had speed from the first race. Finally put it on the box. Just wondering what his big takeaway was from his rookie year. That's actually Plowboy actually asked basically the same question. What did you learn or take away? The biggest thing that stands out for you for this rookie season?
Biggest thing that stands out for me is just trying to be healthy all year and making sure you get recovered and you're 100% each weekend with the travel. You got to, obviously you're in public airports, so you can get sick. There's so many things that can go on. So just making sure I stay 100% healthy and be 100% each weekend.
Okay. Sandberm656 says, ask Juju if he met his team's, meaning Roger and Ian's, expectations this year as far as results. He says, I personally think he did. So that's the main one. Then he wants to know if Davey Millsaps interacts with Roger and Ian and gives his opinions. So 2 questions.
Yeah, for sure. First question, I think so. They were definitely happy after this weekend, so I was happy with that. But it's hard to say because they see how well I ride during the week, and they've seen how good I've been at the test track all year. So when they see sometimes how fast I am at the test track, and then mediocre at the race sometimes, so frustrates them a little bit. But I was finally able to bring what I do at the practice track to the race this weekend, and I think they were happy about that. We made a step in the right direction. Question 2, yeah, Davey and them talk quite a bit. Obviously, Davey gives his opinion on what he thinks we should do if there's something I'm not happy with or uncomfortable with. So we work on that quite a bit, but no, they definitely interact quite a bit with it.
Okay, last question. For those that didn't hear the post-race stuff, tell the Carlos taking your phone away story.
So it wasn't like that was just like a thing on race day. So during the week last week, Frankie, we were at the test track, and I was on my phone in the morning. And
it's Frankie, okay.
Yeah, so Frankie was on my phone. I was on my phone, and I left my phone on my like chair, and I went to the bathroom, and I came back out, and I was like, wait, where'd my phone go? And so they took my phone away for, I don't know, maybe 5 hours that day. I was riding, and they just took my phone. I had no phone. I was like, I wasn't too happy about it. So then we showed up to the race, and Carlos comes in because he was there when I didn't have my phone. Carlos comes in. He's like, all right, if you don't podium, at least if you don't podium Moto 1, you don't get your phone in between motos. And if you don't podium overall, then it looks like you're not seeing your phone until next week. And I was like, damn, like that ain't fair. So I was sitting on the line because I had my phone with me on the line because I had my headphones on and I was listening to music or whatever. And I looked back, and Carlos points to my mechanic. He said, grab his phone and give me it. Like, if he doesn't podium this moto, I'm keeping it. And so he gave him my phone, and then I ended up podiuming. So I got it back. But no, that was a good bet. We have the same one going into this weekend. So
yikes!
Looks like I need to back it up.
Yeah, that would have sucked because if you took your phone, you wouldn't have been able to do the show that would have sucked for us.
Yeah, I would have been MIA for a couple days.
Yeah. Well, congratulations on the podium. Great ride. Looking forward to more of those coming out of you. We'll see you this weekend in Fort Worth. But, yeah, thanks for your time tonight.
Awesome. Thank you guys for having me.
Anytime, man. You have a good night.
You too.
All right. Julien Beaumer tonight, brought to you by FXR. I would, probably quit the team. Sorry, dude. Cancel my contract. Give me my phone back. I'm out.
You can't do anything without a phone these days.
No, what if I'll be like, what if my kid calls or whatever?
Yeah, I don't have that many responsibilities.
Kids.
No, but your whole life is wrapped around your phone these days, man. That's
sad.
Crazy.
I wonder if he just rides better.
My job is.
Would they really have taken his phone away?
I don't know.
Probably.
What
not.
if they did?
Yeah.
I don't know.
I wonder if he rides better, kind of pissed off about something like that.
Yeah.
That was good stuff. That was a good interview.
Yeah.
I was texting him back, but okay, let's do TBolt USA top 5. We'll do Evan's Coolant emails. We'll look at some of the notes from the first part of the show and see if there's anything else we need to get into. TBolt USA. If you are a pit bike enthusiast and love shredding around on a CRF 110, a KLX 110, or whatever you have, you need TBoltUSA.com bookmarked on your web browser. TBolt USA is a pit bike supply site that has everything you need for your pit bike, from BBR handlebars to D&M shocks and even full bikes from YCF and Pitster Pro bikes. TBolt USA has it all. They even have stuff for those Chinese bikes that are so difficult to find parts for. You'll find pit bikes, engines, and parts at TBoltUSA.com. TBolt USA top 5 this week is top 5 songs on your current playlist. I feel like we've done bands. We might even have done songs before, but my playlist changes pretty regularly. So top 5 on your current playlist. Knock it out, Chase.
Well, I listened to a whole bunch of different stuff, so it was hard to pick 5. But Gravy by UGK.
Okay.
NoFX, Blasphemy.
UGK?
Underground Ghetto Kings.
All right.
Texas, like Pimp C, Bun B.
I don't even know if you just said anything that was in English.
I'll send you some links. You probably won't like it, but whatever. Japanther, first of all. Too Short, Just Another Day.
Okay,
and,
I know that one.
Yeah, Coulter Wall, Codeine Dream.
I feel like that one I'm out on. I feel like that was country, just by the name.
It kind of is. He's like 27. He sounds like 85. He's got a really cool voice, and like it's more like country western, like cowboy songs. So it's not like pop bullshit country.
Okay.
You might enjoy it. He's got a couple good ones that you would probably like, honestly.
All those were better than anything TJ would have picked.
Yeah, true.
What have you? Yeah,
he would have picked like some bluegrass bull crap with like homemade. Like they made the fiddle out of a bucket and a freaking.
See, that's what I'm saying. I listen to everything. So like some of TJ's stuff, I'm like, oh yeah, I listen to that too. It makes me feel bad about myself.
Vince Pale sent in a few. He said, Motley Crue, Kickstart My Heart. Vince Pale is old school. We can tell this by the bikes he likes. And, Motley Crue, Kickstart My Heart. Black Sabbath, Fairies Wear Boots. That's actually a great Sabbath song. And then that's all I got. Sorry, that's all I got right now. So normally I just sit in silence and work like an insane person. So he gave us 2. And I don't think, we don't have any others. So that's it.
Sweet Leaf by
That's
Sabbath
a good one. I like
too.
Anthrax's version of Sweet Leaf.
I'll have to look that up.
Which I think actually theirs is, I think, you know what? Theirs is, okay. They had an EP called I'm the Man for their I'm the Man single. And they do Sweet Leaf instrumental, just the intro, and it goes into Sabbath Bloody Sabbath. So it's Anthrax's version of Sabbath Bloody Sabbath with a Sweet Leaf intro, I think.
I got you.
Anyway.
Pantera does a Planet Caravan Sabbath cover that's really good. I like it better than the Sabbath version, honestly.
Okay. Scotty?
So the most current playlist that I had, I mostly listen to podcasts, but when I do listen to music, the last one I had up was Spotify made me a 90s mix.
Okay.
So I just kind of scrolled through and found the 5 that I liked the most out of this. So
nothing just stood out to you. You kind of went through like,
you said your current playlist.
Okay, I didn't know if like for me songs. I guess I use playlist as like my go-tos, but that's fine.
I went to my most recent.
Okay.
Oh, it's starting to play. Learning to Fly by Tom Petty.
I like Tom Petty.
Was that in the 90s?
It's on my 90s mix.
It's close.
Okay.
Yeah,
because he did a lot of those later albums. Yeah.
I just thought that was an earlier one.
He had been around forever, I guess.
Down by 311. Walking on the Sun by Smash Mouth.
Like that one.
I almost put a Smash Mouth song on there.
I like it.
It was like it was that age growing up that it just kind of reminds me of being a kid.
Was that 3 or 4?
I think that was 3.
I've got where did it go? Thunder Underground by Ozzy.
I don't know that
I don't either.
Off of Osmosis.
I don't know that song.
What's it called?
Thunder Underground.
I love that album.
Don't make me try to sing it.
No, it's fine. I just don't know the name of that song. Like, I love that album.
I've probably heard it. I just don't know it by that name.
Okay.
You won't think you're so clever when you hear Thunder Underground. That's the lyric. Yeah, you have to
sound familiar. I'll have to check it out. I have Osmosis on CD somewhere.
Yeah.
I wonder if that's like a bonus track on the.
No, I've heard it a lot. Okay. And then let's go with Uncle Tom's Cabin's on here as well.
That's a good one. That's a good one.
I feel like we put a lot more thought into that than Scotty did.
I went through my current playlist and found my favorite ones.
I sat on my porch for an hour just listening and stuff.
Well, good for you, Chase. You
What's it called? Thunder
Underground by Ozzy.
Thunder Underground.
Yep.
Great. Just bear with us in silence because we all know I can't do 2 things. There it is. Thunder Underground.
Unless it's complaining about 2 different things at once.
That's not on the CD.
You're gonna get
That's definitely Zach. That's Zach Wild
Yeah.
All Day. I don't know that one.
I don't
Really,
either.
it's one of my favorite Aussie songs. Like,
Look, man, I'm adding it to my library right now.
Yeah.
Because that was 100% of Zach's Wild.
yeah, for sure.
Zach Wild.
My first
riff.
concert was Ozfest 08, and Zach
I don't know
Wild
that
came and did that. Played with him.
But I have the CD, and I'm almost positive that song's not on there.
No, your
but
CD sucks. I guess.
I mean, that's
got a
probably a
bootleg.
bonus track. No, it's just a bonus track, but that's cool. All right. Mine are Tool, Numa. Been listening to that song a lot lately.
Good song.
Yep. Iron Maiden, Hallowed Be Thy Name. Great White, House of Broken Love.
Hallowed Be Thy
I
Name
knew
is
that was
good.
going to be on there.
Alice in Chains, Nutshell, Unplugged
Yeah.
version.
Mm-hmm.
And Joe Bonamassa, If Heartaches Were Nickels. Those are my 5. Good.
I love Alice in Chains. I don't really get why Nutshells, why everybody likes Nutshells so much.
Because it hits, dude.
I know,
it hits your
but
feels. When
it
you get
does,
sad,
but it's not.
it's the-
Unplugged
When I think of
version's
Alice
so
in
good.
Chains, yeah, see, I
I
don't
just
like
feel like that's
unplugged stuff.
Lane and
It's-
Jerry at their best
Yeah,
vocally.
I
It's
guess.
not my favorite one. It's not
Brothers
my-
all
When
out
I
there.
think of, I hear so many people say like Alice in Chains, they say Nutshell, and like that's not what I think of. I'm not saying it's a bad song. I'm
Yeah.
saying that's not what I think of when I think of them.
I go to like Sludge Factory or
Hallowed Be
something
That
like
Name's
that.
good though. I like that.
Yeah,
one.
that's actually Machine Head's cover of Hallowed Be Thy Name.
Y'all were
So
talking
good.
about Anthrax and that cover that they do. I got the time is good too.
Is that a cover?
Yeah, there's an actual it's I forgot who sang the original.
Yeah.
But I heard it one time and I was like, hey, I
Didn't realize that was a cover.
yeah.
I think Junkhead is my favorite Alice in Chains song.
Yeah.
They've got a bunch that they play the main ones on radio and stuff, and they get worn out. I like listening to some of the older deep tracks.
Yeah, since last week, we didn't have this week's top 5 up. If you guys want to send us your top 5 favorite songs in your current playlist, we'll read them on the next show. It won't be next week, but it'll be the week after.
You got 2 weeks to actually get them in.
Yeah. So if you want to do that, motoxpodshow@gmail.com. Evan's Coolant emails. Evan's waterless coolant protects your engine because it always stays liquid. Steam inside the engine creates hot spots and detonation, but with Evan's, the metal is always liquid cooled. Used by HRC Honda, Factory Beta USA, Ampro Factory Yamaha, and lots of other teams, regardless of sponsorship. Evans is in the bikes on the podium. If Scotty had Evans coolant in his bike when he forgot to put the drain plug in, he might have got an extra lap out of it. We don't know.
Well, I had blood oil in it, and so we tried.
Yeah, but you wasted that. But the Evans coolant would have kept it cool.
Yeah.
It says it always stays liquid cool.
Yeah.
Don't even need oil.
I can.
Don't get chased.
They
What's
haven't-
that sound?
That is
Kill
not
that. Kill that.
true.
They have not met me yet, I guess.
All right. Vince Pell sent this email in. I'm hearing a ton of negativity towards Chase Sexton on his 3rd place in the 450 class. Of course, we want to see more, but do you think the negative blowback is warranted? I haven't seen the negativity, but I can imagine it. I mean, I was just like, it's not great, blah, blah, blah. Now, if you're being negative, saying like he sucks, I don't know what negativity he's talking about.
It wasn't a bad ride.
Yeah,
It
so
just-
I wouldn't say.
It wasn't the expectation.
yeah, it just was. He just wasn't where he wanted to be. So everybody, like, I don't know. Like,
I guess it depends on what the negativity is. If people
Yeah.
are going, he sucks, he doesn't deserve the MXDN ride, et cetera,
Yeah,
that's,
nobody should be
that's
saying that.
ridiculous.
That's too
Steve
much.
made a good point. Like when Ricky and James went perfect, they weren't asking why Shorty or whoever wasn't beating him.
right.
We kind of do that in the media now. Like, why isn't he beating him? What? Like they're a lot harder. I don't know.
Yeah, I think that was one of Ouija's points was like
Yeah,
at the
maybe it
time we weren't saying like we were saying Kevin Windham's, you got to step it up, blah, blah, blah. But when you look back at it now, nobody's saying that Kevin Windham wasn't good. You
Yeah,
know?
I know.
It's just, I think it's the expectations. He's the challenger. And when it was, this race was kind of his to lose and he lost it. And so, I mean, that's obviously going to get attention, whether it's, indifferent or bad or whatever, however you want to describe it. It's kind of,
I think he was
comes
like,
with the territory when you're kind of the guy expected to win this race and you don't. I mean, there's going to be blowback.
he was close enough where I think he's not just gonna be depressed all week. He's probably not gonna be happy, but it wasn't bad enough to where it's like whatever, throw it away. Who cares?
I agree.
Yeah,
I agree. I'm sorry. I'm looking for another email. I can't find it, but Vince also sent one last week that I missed, and he wanted to know kind of like my experience. And I forget the exact question, but transitioning or what I was feeling between the Husky 350 a couple years ago, the Yamaha 450 that I rode earlier this year, and now on the KTM 350. So I'm working on a review of the KTM 350, but what happened for me was I got on the Husky 350. Anybody that listens to the show knows I fell in love instantly. It was by far the best I'd ever rode. I felt like I was Eli Tomac. Like, okay, I could do absolutely anything I wanted. I could jump anything I wanted. It was cute. I was like, holy shit, this must be what he feels like. Like I'm riding the bike. No, in the aspect of I'm going down the track. I'm going, okay, at Johnsonville. Before the big step tabletop in the back before you go down the hill, like you go in that corner and there used to be like there was a double and a roller in the corner. Man, I used to go outside and I'd square up and I might make the double. Well, on that bike, I could just stand up and I would hit the inside roller, bounce into the double and jump over it. Like something I would have never done on any other bike. I had so much confidence in that bike that I just was like, oh, I'm just going to do this. And I would do it. And that's what it felt. It was amazing. It was the most incredible feeling the entire time I had that bike. I mean, hell, I had to move up a class. I was riding so well.
Hands down the best I've ever seen you ride when you're on that bike.
So that's what I meant. I mean, I didn't mean I'm going as fast as Eli. I meant, or those guys, I meant just like, okay,
you're as
you see these guys do things, they go, how the F did they just do that?
Tomac rides a Yamaha.
I'm talking about, oh man, I hate, all right, he gets muted for 2 minutes. Chase.
Yes.
Then I moved to the 450. It took me a few minutes to get used to that kind of power, and I was kind of scared of it, and I toned it down. I was like, oh, I'm never going to get used to this bike. The front end felt like it was floating all the time. We made some adjustments. Kiefer helped me, like I said, remap it. Got very comfortable on that bike. Got very confident on that bike. Always felt like I had the power to do whatever I needed, but it made me lazier too. I didn't have to roll my corners as much. I could square things up or just seat bound stuff. Tons of power. I eventually put it back to the stock mapping, full bore. And I was like, okay, I'm a 450 guy again. That was cool. So I love that bike.
Right.
Then I moved to the KTM 350 and I was like, well, this thing doesn't have enough power. It's weird. I'm struggling. I'm fighting it. The front end's tucking. I'm very uncomfortable. It's very unstable. This thing scares the ever-loving shit out of me.
You got used to lugging.
I understand why RJ's hitting the deck all the time and why these guys have problems with this frame. The things that I'm hearing they're saying, I get it. Thankfully, I reached out to some suspension guys, to Kiefer, some different people. We made some changes, and I'm starting to get comfortable on it, and I'm transitioning to getting more used to it. But I am definitely noticing a massive power difference. I still say the 350 is almost the perfect bike for a average vet rider. It's not too much power. It's not short really on a whole lot of power. It's a great all-around package. But I am missing the 450 horsepower a little bit.
Well, you got used to lugging that 450 and you still had the power. You just fan the clutch and still get over whatever you needed to.
Yeah.
350 makes all of its power in the top RPMs. Like I was riding Coway 450 forever and then started riding TJ's 250F and a 350 and I can ride that bike. I have to ride different, but I can ride it longer. And I feel like I'm a lot faster. It may just sound like I'm faster.
yeah,
but I feel faster on one.
Yeah. So Vince, that's really the best answer I can give you is that just the 350 got me super comfortable on a motorcycle again with the Husky and got me more confident in riding. And that did transition into the 450 where I felt like, okay, I've been working out. I have the strength and the stamina to ride this thing, and I just got more comfortable. And then now I'm back on a 350 and just trying to figure it out. But that is also making me need to try to roll my corners better and get keep my momentum up, and hopefully working on a little bit of technique. So that's the best answer I can give you.
Yeah, I like to stay in the low end power.
Yeah,
and that's why I like a 450 because I can just ride it in third and kind of stay real low in the RPMs. When I ride a 350, I feel like I know it's probably better, and I'd probably actually ride better riding the higher RPMs. I just don't like doing that. I like lugging, so that's why I like sticking with the 450.
I had to make myself ride like that, and once I finally did it, I was like, oh, okay, I see why people like these 350s so much.
I do have a question for you though. You said you were transitioning. Are you going to keep the name Jamie?
It works for both.
Yeah, I was going to say.
That's why I wanted to know if you were going to keep
good.
that.
Yeah, we're good.
Okay.
No ID change, nothing. We're good.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah. Perfect.
It's very hurtful.
I'm sorry. Did I hurt your feelings?
I'm going to write in his journal about you later.
But I am not going to cry. I'm not going to tear up. I'm not going to be like Scotty.
You can use some of my tissues.
Okay. Anything from, we talked about Carter Gray. We talked about Hayden, RJ, the walls at the drag strip. That's one of the main things. I didn't like it last year. Last year they crossed it a bunch of times. and they didn't go as much parallel with the walls. This year, the walls were scary, dude. Those walls needed to be protected in that rhythm section because RJ,
that could have been really bad.
Dude, like, what if he had jumped all the way off and shot into the wall?
I mean, it's kind of, you don't know until you know. Hindsight's 20/20, right? I mean, like same thing with Fortner. Like, why wasn't there concrete? Why wasn't there pads on the concrete? Well, I mean,
in the end, I guess it's not that much different than hitting the side of a stadium wall. But I felt like there's more runoff.
That could have been way worse for RJ for sure.
Yeah, I didn't like that. I don't really have a whole lot else. I think we actually got to most of the things.
I have a question. So, and I may, when I listen to my other podcasts, I may figure out what's going on. But I've been seeing a lot of talk in the chat about Wilbur and a fire hose. What?
You'll have to listen to Pulp Mix, man. We're not stealing their stories.
Okay, I didn't know what happened.
He cracked open the valve and the hose was 20 feet out, and it just went crazy.
All right, I'll get there. I didn't know if it was something that.
What about blinded him?
Our Lewis Phillips was on Pulp MX, which I have a rant for my show for my Pulp next week after listening to this one.
Let's go.
But Lewis and
Weimer.
Jake Weimer were really good. So it was a good show. I finished it out today.
Yeah, they ended up being pretty good together.
I didn't get to listen because Lewis asked me yesterday if I was going to listen, and I said maybe, but I'm going to be watching the 49er game, and he said, as he always does, sad,
they got in
sad.
Towards the end. He just was asking Lewis questions. Steve stepped off, and he
said him and Weimer.
Yeah, he said he wishes he would have went to Honda when he kind of had the chance. Yeah, and that was one of his bigger regrets. I had no idea that was even. I had no idea that was even.
Good stories on that show. So once you're done with our show, maybe listen to the Pulp Mix show.
Yeah, other news is this is a couple weeks in a row for Chase, and the fans are starting to enjoy him. They call him Garth from Wayne's World. Oh, yeah. So he's got a moniker now. He's part of it.
Let's go.
Right on.
I'm not as dumb as I look.
I don't know if TJ will ever be back. So, yeah, who knows?
I live close. I like moto. We'll be around.
All right. EVS picks for Fort Worth. Ooh. Over the past 39 years, EVS Sports has established itself as the leader in innovation and technology when it comes to designing protection gear for today's motocross riders. Athletes like RJ Hampshire, he needs it, Kyle Chisholm, Freddie Norton, Axel Hodges, and Travis Pastrana all wear EVS when they race, ride, or whatever Travis decides to do that day. So check out evs-sports.com and use the code VITALMX30, that's all caps, to save and gear up like the pros. You get yourself some of the Axis Web Eclipse knee braces. You can get some of the TP199 or Slaco 96 knee guards, chest protectors.
Do they have body belts?
I don't know if they do or not. I don't know if they have kidney belts. I haven't seen a kidney belt for sale.
I used to wear a kidney belt.
I didn't realize how many people still wear them.
I didn't either.
That was blowing my mind last night.
They actually, I kind of did like the way they feel, but I have EVS chest protector and knee guards that I really enjoy.
I roasted Ansley's kidney belt one day, and like 2 laps later, I was pissing blood because I caught a handlebar to the kidney.
Okay.
Yeah.
With the kidney belt on?
No, I didn't have it. I was roasting
there you go. There you go.
But I don't know that a handlebar to the kidney would be stopped by a kidney belt.
I don't either, but it was fun. It was just funny time.
You never know.
All right, EVS picks for Fort Worth. I did both classes if you guys want to. So I went Jet, Eli, Chase, Hayden, Levi Kitchen, RJ Hampshire. Those are my picks. Scotty?
Oh, I wonder how you came up with those.
Yep.
I want to see a bounce back from Chase. I'm going to go Chase, Jet, Eli. I'm going to change up your order,
do you want to do 250s?
And then 250s. Oh, so is RJ done or is he okay?
Yeah, he's fine.
I think he's fine. Yeah.
I'm going to do. Yeah, there's no stopping Hayden. I don't think. So I'm going to go Hayden, RJ, Kitch.
I'm going to go Eli. I think he's going to pull one out. Chase second, Jet maybe he's going to have a little.
Okay.
I like the Eli pick.
And then Deegan. I mean, he's gonna have to crash out to not win it. It looks like. Then RJ, and I'm gonna give it to Beaumer. 2 weeks in a row for third.
Like it.
Well, he was second.
I just want him to keep his phone. I got to put him on there.
Third.
Oh.
Yeah,
I know. I'm saying
he almost was off the podium. If Joe had passed him, he would have been off the podium.
Yeah,
Joe would have been on. So okay. That is our show for this week. MotoXpodShow@gmail.com. Send us your picks before the race.
We have one more from the chat. You're not going to really like this question. They paid $5.
Oh, I had an email, actually another email to get to. So yeah, go ahead.
Okay. Luke says, Dark, we need an update. Did you find any new ladies? If not, I got faith in you, Dark.
I'm not going to answer that just yet.
All right, well, the man paid $5. We ate pizza today, so...
the real ones
okay,
know.
well, I would imagine...
He covered the cheesy bread.
I guess I should... I mean, I have a feeling that's going to be a big topic next week on Pulp.
Yeah,
but,
probably so.
Yeah, I am in another relationship. Yeah, I am back with my
in a relationship.
ex.
Yeah,
not my my ex fiance. Actually, we were together 7 years. Then we separated for like a year and a half. If you guys have listened enough, you've heard me talk about my stepdaughters. She's the mother of two of them, two of the stepdaughters that I still spend a lot of time with. And we started talking. Actually, she reached out about something was going on with one of the kids, and we just kind of kept talking. And the next day we talked again, and we hadn't talked in a year and a half. Hadn't seen each other in a year and a half anyway, whatsoever. And then, we just kept talking. And one night, we kind of hung out for a couple of nights, and then we're like, I guess we just ended up being back together after a few days. So it just kind of fell back into place. And so, back with my ex. Yep.
Things are looking lovely.
Good. Peaks and valleys, and we're in a peak.
Yeah.
We are in a peak at the moment. So
good move paying $5 for that, Luke, because we probably wouldn't have asked that if there wasn't money attached to it.
No.
Yeah, I wasn't really going to give those details just yet, but I mean, there's no reason not to.
Well, to the people, you give them what they want.
So no show next week because I'll be in Vegas Monday for Pulp. I don't get back till I just won't be home in time. Scotty wanted to do a show Wednesday, but I'm taking one of my stepdaughters to see Slipknot Wednesday night. So no show next week, but we'll be back the following week after the finals.
Follow my Instagram photography page, 710 Designs, SEVEN10 Designs. That's all I got.
Hal said, Hal had his picks, Moto 1 Dean, Moto 2 Dean.
Let's go.
Hal's delusional, but I love the guy. Okay, that is our show. I want to thank Julien Beaumer, Dean Wilson, apparently the winner of the 450 and 250 class in Fort Worth, according to Hal.
Mans is busy.
I want to thank Race Tech and Yamaha Motor USA for presenting the show. I want to thank Guts Racing, FXR, X Brand, Pro X, EVS Protection, Evans Coolant, Barnett Clutches, TBolt USA. I want to thank Scotty. I want to thank Chase. I want to tell TJ, middle finger. You're not welcome.
He's been replaced.
You're replaced, but we need to keep your equipment. We're out.